Good morning, my Teaserking family. How's everybody today? So went to the dentist, got my cleaning, got a new phone. So I ended up getting a very similar phone. This one here, I don't know, it's another Android. It's a lot cheaper. It's $100. My screen came apart, the back of it, right? So that created me to not see it, but the phone works fine. I can hear when the phone rings, I can hear it. And in the car, I can make phone calls using it, but I can't fix the screen. So it's going to cost me $100, or maybe I'll find another, like go to Best Buy or Target, see what they can do about it. I don't know if you can fix it or you just need a new one. So worst case, 100. I was able to transfer a lot over, except like I got my contacts and my WhatsApp. So I got Jenna on WhatsApp for the trip next week. That's what I was worried about. But I don't have my pictures. And it's funny, the WhatsApp I would put in my gallery and then I'd move them into like Jenna's little folder, right? And so those I don't have. I only have what's in the WhatsApp, which is mostly what I sent to her, and then a few of what she sent to me in the WhatsApp. That's all I got. And so I'll probably get my other camera fixed so I can transfer all the files over, because you need to see the transfer to make the transfer happen. Otherwise, you just transfer everything. Again, I can't believe it was a little bit cracked open, but nothing. And when I dropped it, it just opened up, which was just must have hit at the wrong angle. Anyway, I couldn't believe it. So my feet were bothering me, but it's mostly probably stress. Anyway, I think I'm pretty much ready for my trip. Flights are paid for, hotels paid for. Jenna's doing her nails and all that shit today. And I'll do my laundry Monday, maybe get it packed by, I'll leave Thursday, the 13th. So we got a while. So I'll start doing laundry and packing. And what else? So I was talking to my buddy from Alabama. He's like in charge of a gold mine. So you can see our thoughts. So he keeps thinking, see, I play economics against him. So he thinks there'll be this digital currency and they won't use paper anymore and da 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 da. And I'm thinking, you might be able to get away from paper, how we use our debit cards and credit cards now, but you still need, all right, let's say we're in Amsterdam. We go to the red light district. What are we gonna? Oh, what's your central bank digital currency thing? She doesn't want that out there. There's certain things, or if we go play poker, or if we go do things that between friends, we bet. You don't want to put everything on this little digital currency thing. That's the control people are afraid of, right? You're gonna do all that, and so my argument to him was there'll still be a paper currency, not this paper currency. They'll come out with a new paper currency, and that's what they'll use. But it'll be, it'll be fire. It won't be that. Where's my kind of charger did they get? Oh wait, no. I got to use this is for Europe, right? Because we have a different plug. But the charger I got doesn't have the digits to go in, but I have my old charger, which does. So I'll probably leave this charger here and take that charger. It's funny how the old charger still fits the phone, because it's the same basically phone. It went from a 10 to a 13. So anyway, my argument was, you can't get away from the medium of exchange. You can't get rid of this, right? Even though this is no good and worthless, and it's sinking at the bottom of the Atlantic, they'll come out with a new one. And they'll always have this. There always needs to be some money for some transactions. Not all. I pay my rent yesterday. It went with, basically pulled out of my account into their account. I didn't walk money over, which is fine. You don't need it for. And, frankly, I went to dinner because I was bushed and I paid the dentist with my debit card. But at the end of the day, you need money in your account to pay the debit card and pay your credit cards. You're paying with the money. So even though you're using your debit and credit card, it's not digital, it's electronic. The only digital is Bitcoin. So talking to the bank manager, she's kind of saying, well, they will be digital currency, but there'll still be money. And not everybody will go to digital. I think what'll happen is unemployment, Social Security, any of the governmental things, if you want to get paid, you use digital currency, which is fine. According to the lady at the bank, you can still put your money in a savings account. You can still have some money from what I can gather. Now, again, it's a long way away. She's saying it's a long way away, digital currency. And that's what I keep saying. It ain't here tomorrow. So this is going, and then they'll bring out a new currency. They'll blame the Russians, and they'll say, oh, Putin, it's Putin's fault, the inflation from the war. We're going to come out with new currency. They could come out with Kleenexes. This could be the new currency, right? They could do anything, but you need it it's really just an exchange, and it's just really what's accepted. And nobody's going to accept this dollar. So that's where I'm like, okay, let's say you owe money to the government. You're going to have to pay them back. You owe money to the credit cards. You're going to have to pay them back because this dollar will go away. They will say you have to trade it for the new dollar. Now, who knows if it's even money or 80 to 1, 8 to, I'll give you $8 for 10, right? So it'll lose value, or $100 buys you 80, something like that. This we'll have to see. We're not sure. But whatever it is what we'll end up going with. So we kind of were talking for like an hour at 2 a.m, and I was just checking my phone going, does it work? Does my WhatsApp work? Because I'm nervous about Jenna being able to reach me because I don't really have her number, so, and I really can't call her anyway in the Ukraine. My phone's not international, so it's basically not something I'm going to call her on. I don't really need it when I'm there. And if we need to talk, we use WhatsApp, but there's very, very rare we're not together. I might go to the pool and she'll be in the room or something, but we go shopping or eating, we're together, so we don't need it. But like to say I'm on the plane and stuff, well, there's always Wi-Fi in the airport, and there's always I think she gets it. She usually has it, but when you're on the airplane, you can't do it. But when you land, then you use the airport Wi-Fi. So that's the only thing. So I just wanted to make sure that was working, which it is. I got messages from her and Daria today. Irina's freaking out because she's pregnant, and she was due the 20th. It's now the 5th of April, and she's still not having the baby. And I says, I'm sure you're frustrated. She says, yeah, I'm pretty frustrated. I said, my second daughter, Haley, was born on July 5th. We went to the fireworks July 4th, and the loud noise prompted the pregnancy. And we drove to the hospital, and when we got there, there was 25 women, and they're all, because of the loud noise, the baby gets scared and shoots out, wakes up and says, let me out of here. So that's what you have with the fireworks. I told her, go do fireworks, and I tell her to walk around. That induces it. And she says, it's just not ready. He doesn't want to come out. And I go, I don't blame him. He's heard of Putin already. He doesn't want any part of it. So anyway, she should have it soon. She told me she was inducing yesterday, and she still hasn't had it. So anyway, that's what's going on. So we're trying to decipher everything, and he thinks it's like the plan, the Great Reset's a plan, and this and that. And I go, okay, first of all, you're dealing with a bunch of idiots. All right, look who's running the government, a bunch of idiots. These guys are so stupid that you could tell them to bet a football game late in the fourth quarter and they'd still fuck it up. So I said to him, the odds on these idiots knowing what they're doing and creating a plan and it'll actually work are zero. All right. So I go, oh, Great Reset. Oh, we're all going to be slaves and everything. And it's like, dudes, it ain't going to happen. Yes, it's the plan, but we're not stupid and we're not going to just sit there and let get crushed. We're not going to do that. We will figure out a way to fight. Now, our way is gold and silver. Fine. We'll have gold and silver. Go fuck yourselves. We don't need your little games. We don't need your digital currency. We'll have our own currency. And if we have to sell our gold and get digital currency, but hopefully we can get paper, or we don't sell our gold. Now, one question that came up on a video was, how do we sell our gold when the dollar collapses? And the guy didn't get the question. He couldn't answer. He says, well, you don't want to sell your gold. He totally missed the point of the question. So I will tackle that question right now. So you're asking me, and I know Nick's asked me, and he says, well, when gold hits 40,000, is there going to be demand for it? Yeah, there'll be a very big demand for it, right? And it's starting now anyway. So the question is, what do I do with my gold? Let's say it's at 40,000 and I want to sell it. Maybe I need to pay bills. Maybe the credit cards don't go to zero. I need to pay my house. Maybe I want to go on a trip. Maybe whatever. So my point is, you're going to go to wherever, eBay or the gold store or somewhere. A lot of people will be buying it, and you'll get a check or money for it. And you're going to so the new currency comes out. So this currency's sunk at the bottom of the Titanic is sunk. So here comes a new currency. Again, in Holland, they had tulips as currency until there was a famine, or it wasn't conducive to good growing, so the tulips didn't grow. And then they had to go to new currency. That's why paper is perfect, because there's really not much that can happen to it, and it's accepted. Yeah, you can counterfeit it, but what do you do with it? So that's what happens. There always will be a currency, right? Even the Romans had gold and silver. Now they debased the gold and silver. So the gold coin had no gold in it, and the silver coin had no coin in it. But the way they started, everything was valued in gold and silver. So if you went to the restaurant to eat, or whatever the hell you did in Rome, how they ate, they paid for it with, let's say, silver. Let's say they bought their house with the gold coin. So with that being said, there's always money, right? There's always that I give you something and you give me that. The fact is, the debit or credit card's immaterial, and that's electric, but you still need this in your account to use your debit card and your credit card, right? You can use it, but you got to pay it back. But your debit card, if you don't have anything in the account, it's zero. So yes, you're using it, but how are you getting money with it? So there has to be a new currency, right? Now, if it's backed by gold, we're all happy. If it's not backed by gold, we're all getting fucked again. So we remember the lesson now, going, well, that's not going to stay. You do not have any confidence in any of this money, the euro, the Swiss franc, the British pound, the yen, the yuan, the ruble. It's all the same. It's all crap. It's all money, not backed by anything. So there is no out. That's the Titanic. All the money's on the boat, and the boat's going down, and there's no way to stop it until they come out with gold. And once they come out with gold, that's the way to stop the bleeding, is gold. Now there's confidence in gold. So a lot of it is public confidence. Right now, the public has confidence in the dollar and all these other currencies, but really they're worthless. But if somebody pays me $100 and I can go buy a steak and, gym shoes and a swimsuit, then fine. As long as I can use the money you're giving me, we don't really question it, even though the value of what we're giving me, of what you're getting, is down, right? But there's still confidence. That's why the stores are still in business, because there's still the confidence. So that was the first thing, is they'll come out with new currency. So what do? I go sell my ounce of gold for 40 grand, and I'm going to get 40 grand of the new currency, or whatever is being used as wealth. That's what you do. If you need that little currency, if you need the new dollar or whatever it is, not the Bitcoin, and then the digital is not till 2030 at earliest, if at all. So really, you'll have new paper. And that's basically what the question was, is if I need gold, if I need to cash in my gold, what do I do? Now, what we're doing is we're kind of balancing. We have money and we have gold, but we can't take all our money into gold because we're waiting on the gold to go up. And what do? We need to pay our bills with the money as long as it's still being used. So what'll happen is we'll trade in I'll trade 20,000 of this for 20,000 of the new, or whatever it'll buy me. And then the gold will be, only used. The gold will only be used slightly. And that's why I bought a tenth of an ounce, quarter ounce, half an ounce, and an ounce. The ounce is for the house, for the car. That's it. I doubt I'll trade in to get $50,000 for the ounce and do what with the money? I don't want it in the bank. I mean, it would be to buy gold with. So I'm going to be very leery to trade in my big gold for anything. I'm going to want to trade in my tenth of an ounce and or my silver. Now, silver will be, your ounce of silver is going to be worth way too much to go grocery shopping, right? You're going to go grocery shopping. Let's say it's $100, and the ounce of silver is going to be worth $2,000. Well, you're not going to want to take an ounce of silver. Now, that's the other question. Even my girlfriend asked me, well, how do I buy coffee with gold? You don't buy coffee with gold. You trade in. That's when you trade in your silver for this. So you get 1,000 of these. Maybe you go put it in your bank, and then you use your debit card to go to get coffee and to go to the grocery store and to go to the rib place or the steak place for you, Nick. And that's what you're doing. Nick, I hope you're all right. I haven't seen you here for a while, so I hope the diet's going well. So anyway, that's what you have is you have that. You have, that's what you traded for. But the reason you buy silver and gold, because it holds its value. As I said, it's the only 100% lock there is in life is gold. Again, the guy in the Salt on Wall Street would never have lost 60 grand if he would have bought 60 grand of gold versus 60 grand worth of real estate investment trust. Oops, somebody did this and somebody did that and somebody did this and somebody did that. Well, guess what? If you had gold, you got it in your safe. You're a security guy with guns and nobody's going to fuck with you. Oh, I need 60 grand. You don't even need all of it, because it's probably would have been worth 100 grand after the few years of his investment. He had no risk. It can't go to zero. Nobody can fuck around with it. That's the beauty of gold. It's yours. Nobody can fuck. It's like this. It's like my Canadian club. Nobody can fuck with this. It can't go to zero unless I drink it to zero, but I'm not drinking it. It's a nice souvenir from a nice place where I worked at, but it can't go down in value. So, not that that's bought for value. I wouldn't sell it. It's not something I want to sell, but that's the point of it. So you got something. So the gold, silver have no risk. Madoff can't fuck with you. Enron can't fuck with you. The guys on Wall Street, margin call, can't fuck on you. All these movies, if you would have had gold, nobody can fuck with you. It's in your pocket, and it always went up. Even though it's price controlled, it still went up from $200-$300, $200 an ounce in 1995 when I bought it. and now it's over 2,000. Let's get the latest read. The latest read, it's the gold futures on COMEX is 2,037, down $1. And when I look at just the price today, it's 2020. It's even. You can see it was up until 10 o'clock. Don't know why that happened. So it's 2020, and silver's the 24.92, was 25. So that's what you have. And it's, you can't, if you can't do it, then that's, it's a no-brainer, but yet nobody wants to talk about it because they won't get commission on it. So they want you in the Titanic, in the paper, buy stocks, buy bonds, buy mutual funds, buy REITs, real estate investment trust. Basically, you're buying a piece of a loan, right? You take out a house loan, you pay 7% on it. So that's what they're selling you, is if Joe keeps paying his mortgage, you're okay. If Joe stops, you're fucked. And that's basically what happened. Because Joe should never have got the house because his credit sucked and he couldn't afford it. And he was in a variable rate because the guy gets a better commission selling variable rates than fixed rates. So if you don't know what you're doing, you listen to the guy, and that goes into, what are you listening to him for? Because you don't know. You should know, because you're risking your whole fucking, your whole life. And then what do? The Madoff people, they all cry at the end. Oh, I lost all my money. Why didn't you pull out? Why didn't you say, you know what? I made 200 grand. I'm taking my money. Why didn't you do that? Why did you just kept going, and you never thought, oh, wow, I can't lose. He's never going to have a losing session. Really? That's like a guy rolling the dice. He'll never 7 out. I mean, or blackjack. I'm going to win every hand. Or obviously poker. I'm going to win every hand. It's so stupid. So that's what you have. And that's why you're in the gold. So what's going to happen? You're going to take your gold or silver, switch it for whatever the new currency is. And this is my debate with my friend 2 a.m. was, you always have to have currency. You need it. Not everybody's hooked in. The cab drivers, the red light girls, the poker, go to the casino. You're not dealing with digital currency there. You can play slot machines. What are you going to, take out your debit card into this for each slot? Have you ever played slots? I don't play them, but I'm not stupid. You put your $20 in, and then you get $20 in credits, and it pays out. It doesn't give you money, but it gives you a slip, and then you take the slip to the machine, and they pay you out. Or you go to the cashier, she pays you out. You tell me the casinos are going to get rid of their cashiers? Never happen. They want you with cash. They don't want, and then you've got to have this card to play. I walk in there with $300. I go play poker. I give her $300. She gives me chips. I win or lose. I cash out. I get money back. That is not going away. I'm sorry. I don't want it to go on digital. I don't want them to know I went to play poker, bought gold, or visited a girl, or whatever it is. I don't want anybody to know that. That's my, it's my life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. So anyway, that was the answer, was you're going to take your money to a gold store or someplace, or eBay, and you're going to exchange it for the new currency. That's what the guy didn't answer. Now, it's like a Rolex watch or anything else. It has value, and you can certainly sell it, and you will sell something to get something, right? But really, the big gold, you're probably not going to sell. You're just collecting. You'll be very wealthy, and you're probably going to use it to buy, as I said, you're going to use it to buy a house with it, and you're not going to cash it in. So when I go buy a Mercedes, probably with a half ounce of gold, I'm just going to give them the half ounce of gold. because it'll pay for the car, right? So really, as the value of the dollar drops, what's going to happen? So you're selling Mercedes. Let's say it's just your own Mercedes. So Bobby's got his Mercedes and it's worth 50 grand. And now the money is gone. The Titanic is sunk. All right. There is no more of this. Bobby needs to eat. I assume he needs to pay his mortgage. I don't know what's going to happen with that when the money goes to zero. Is there, what happens? And I go, aha, Bobby, I have this half ounce of gold. How about if I give it to you for your car? You got a nice Mercedes. Would Bobby take it? Would I take it? Would you take it? Right? If somebody offered me, and I've told Nick before, and on here, if he wanted to pay me in silver for my football picks, it's $100 and a quarter a week, or you do the month at 3 or the year at 6. Is that what you want? Do you want that? And basically, that's exactly what you're looking for. I said, yes, I would take silver. If you want to pay me in silver, Nick, you give me, it's $25 an ounce. Give me 4 ounces. You can have the week, as opposed to going into the site on PayPal and getting the password and getting the games. So yes, I would take the silver any day. The barbecue restaurant would take the ounce of silver to pay for the ribs, but I'm not going to give it to them at $25 when it's going to be worth about $2,000. So there's no point in giving my silver away now for something later. That's the balancing act. How much money do I have? Because I don't want to cash in the gold and silver at these low prices. I want to wait till they go. You can see it's going up. Why it stopped? It's again, JP Morgan, COMEX throwing the monkey wrench into it. The ironic part is all the other central banks are buying gold and silver at these ridiculously low prices, except for the US, Canada, and Britain. For some reason, they still think they can just keep printing, even though nobody wants the money. And they're not. What they should be doing is buying gold. And I don't know why they're not buying gold at these ridiculously low prices, because they know they're going to need it. No matter what they do, if it's central bank digital currency, there'll be this new currency. You have to back it by gold. If you don't back it by gold, it's worthless. This is just paper. Central bank digital currency is not even, what is it? It's nothing. It's nothing. It's really not paper. It's nothing. It's sort of like Back to the Future too, when Biff takes the cab ride and he says, give me the credit for it. And he uses his thumbprint. That's really scary. I don't want anybody using my retina or my thumbprint. And then he pays for the cab. Well, somewhere he's got to have the money for it, right? So I just prefer to have some of this. I don't need all of it. I mean, I have debit cards, credit cards. Hey, Bobby Bo, how are you? Dentist is fine at cleaning, and my gums are great. I never floss, but I use mouthwash. So I do the mouthwash when I first wake up, and I do the mouthwash when I'm ready to go to sleep. And when you don't eat a lot of sugar, you don't rot your teeth. So that's all good. Even if I have a Diet Coke, a few hours, if I have it with Chinese on Saturday, I'm mouthwashing it. So no, it was perfect. And I had already paid when I went the first time for this little goo in there. So it was fine. The dentist says, oh, your teeth look great. And I said, yeah. So my hygienist was nice. Well, as long as you use the mouthwash, you should be fine. I have one tooth, which is a crown. When I eat steak, it gets caught in it. That's it. But it's a crown tooth. And you can see how old it is. It's actually gold in my teeth. I should start getting my crowns moved. Give me the gold, give me the gold, and use the porcelain crown. And when you're done with the gold, give it to me. Almost my family and friends be getting root canals left and right because they all eat too much fucking sugar. Well, you're right. They're all fat and they all have high blood pressure and it's they don't know any better, unfortunately. I know my friend Carmen, she came from Romania. I think we talked about the other day, and she had, her whole mouth was implants, and she had like 10 implants and crowns and everything. I took her to my dentist. He just, and she's young, she's like 30 something, and he just shook his head and he laughed at me like, what the fuck's this girl? And I go, that's Romania. They just keep it the implants and the crowns. I asked her, I said, Carmen, what is wrong with your mouth? She said, my mom never took me to the dentist when I was young. So all my teeth rotted. And when I was 17, I started getting implants and crowns. And it was a sad story. I felt bad for her. See, this is what we don't understand, what goes on in Ukraine and Russia and Romania, these poor countries. They don't go to the dentist like we do. Who knows if they even got mouthwash? I'm sure she ate her crap and that was it. So you feel bad. I tried to help her out. The dentist advised her to get a bridge because she had some teeth that like she wanted saved. And my dentist looked at it and said, you can't save it. It's rotten. Put a bridge over it like this. This is a bridge. So these two teeth got knocked out in a softball game. And then these four are filed down and the bridge of 6 teeth goes over it. And I told her, do the same thing. It's fine. I don't have any pain. It looks fine. And the whole thing. And then she gets back to Romania and they want to do implants. And I just said, fuck, my dentist looked at you. He even gave her the x-rays to take back to Romania. So I love Carmen. She wants me to pay for dental work. I'm like, look, dude, that's your problem. I'll help you, but go get a bridge. I'll help you, but that's it. But yeah, well, people don't know. I had 10 years old dentist and the guy's drilling for an hour and a half. I had like 10 cavities because I ate a bunch of Coca-Cola and chocolate and I didn't know that's what I ate. And that's my mom being an idiot. I never touched an avocado or anything that was healthy, dark chocolate, or, it was barbecue chicken and candy and pop, and it was terrible. And, but you didn't know any better. So anyway, so we're talking about when gold goes up, that people will want to, you're not really going to sell it. So I use you as the example. So you have a $50,000 car, and I'm going to come to you and I'm going to give you a half ounce of gold for it because gold will be worth 100,000, let's say. Let's say gold's worth 50,000. I'm going to give you an ounce for your car. And the question is, are you going to take it? Because it's money. I say you would take it. I say I would take it. If gold hits 50 grand and I'm driving my Camry, so let's say my Camry's worth 20, and gold hits 40 grand and somebody gives me a half ounce of gold for my car, done deal. You got it. I don't want the paper crap, and I'd be happy to take the gold. And I think that's what we're going to do is we'll buy houses and cars with it. Because we don't want this shit. And if they come out with the new shit that's not backed by gold, it's going to be this in 6 months. Because that doesn't have a value. The only thing keeping it alive is the U.S. confidence in the dollar because they don't know anybody. They're a bunch of idiots. They don't know it's, you might as well have this. You think you might as well say this is a $50. I could write 50 on it. And this is a $50 bill. I mean, it's the same thing. So people don't have confidence in it. They don't understand that gold will keep its value. It's the only sure play out there, not stock. The stock market's being held up. I wanted to show you this. So Saudi Arabia cuts ties with the U.S. So now it's kind of official. This is about the third Black Swan event. So Saudi Arabia cuts ties with the U.S. for economic independence. Well, I don't know. That headline isn't right, but it shows you now. I think they're taking anybody's dollar. They might cut ties with the U.S. that it's not the U.S. petrodollar anymore, but the U.S. can buy oil with it as the yuan, the ruble, all these other countries. I think they just open it up to anybody. I don't think you need to buy yuan to buy oil. Just give us something. or of course gold. That's black swan number 3. Black swan number 1 is the inflation. Black swan number 2 are all the banks crashing, and then Credit Suisse. Black swan number 3, no more petrodollar. I don't know how many fucking black swans we need for people to figure out this is gone, but they'll still swear, oh no, it's still the reserve currency. That'll always be the reserve currency. And you're like, oh my God, seriously? You think it's always going to be the reserve currency? At what point do you realize it's not? See, that's the problem here. People will not really come to the justification that it really has no value. We have discovered it already. I've told you that for 2 years. It's not the real McCoy, that the only thing is gold and silver. Get out of the stock market. Your house is going to crash. Well, everything. It's not that it's coming true. And I look at these, I predicted. It wasn't really a prediction. It was just, FDR, whatever his name is, KGB, ate the Oreo cookie. He's got a good hand. That's all I did. I watched them eat the Oreo cookie, and I go, well, then here you go. So by them printing the money, I know what inflation really is, the devaluation of the dollar, which of course is going to make housing go down and cars go down and the stock market drop and gold and silver go through the roof. Now, we know at first I didn't know it was price fixed, but I learned that. And once I learned it was price fixed, then off we go and say, fine, we'll wait till it ends. And this is the end of it. This Saudi Arabia thing ends the COMEX, basically. There's not much they can do about it. And then once the Russia, China, and everything goes gold, because every currency is fucked. So once it goes gold, then you have that. Once it's gold, the gold price goes through the moon. COMEX either stays with it or it goes away. But COMEX is not the real price of gold, not the physical price of gold. So anyway, that's what I was up till 1 a.m. on. Meanwhile, all afternoon I was chasing this new phone because I was get my old one pinned up. The screen goes black. I can't use it because I can't see it. So I hear a phone, I can't answer it. However, my phone worked in my car. So I go to a phone store to get it fixed from the dentist. It won't get fixed. They can't, they have to get a new screen, $100. It'll take 3 days. And I'm thinking, well, I can go to Walmart and get a new phone. That's fine. The problem is I can't transfer the data over. That's what I was hoping for. But I can transfer the WhatsApp, so I still have Jenna's number and Daria and my girls in Europe. I still have their numbers because that's the only place I have the numbers in WhatsApp. I don't know their numbers. I probably start writing them down, but right now I don't. And then because I was really scared about that, I go, fuck, we're going next week. I got to have her number. And then then I went to Walmart, got the phone, but it wasn't a Smart Talk, it was something else. So when I got out of the store, I didn't have internet or phone because it wasn't Smart Talk. It was something else. And my service is Smart Talk I've already paid for. And that's like a Walmart only. So I went back and got a Smart Talk phone and reactivated it. And so I'll probably go back and get the screen, have them order the screen for me for $100. So I can then transfer a lot of pictures, a lot of vacations that somewhere on the computer, but you just put them on your phone and that's all you do with it. And I am not synced because I really don't want Google seeing my pictures. I just kind of want that I see my pictures. So that's really so that was such a stressful day. Then I got to the pool at 9 o'clock, 8:30, I think. So we see all the economy, more banks will be failing. My banker's telling me, don't worry, it'll be years for she did say there will be digital currency. The question is, I think it's an option. I think we'll still have this on one hand and digital, like we have crypto now. We have crypto, but we have this. So I think all that'll change is we'll still have this and we'll have that. Like she made a comment, well, you can put it in your savings account and still have cash. So I think they'll always have cash. I'd be shocked if they didn't. So let's see. Like, here's a weird comment. Stock index, where the hell am I? Stock index futures move lower as recession fears weigh on sentiment. Okay, the recession has been here for probably 2 years now, and it's not going away, and it's going to be a big depression. And now these geniuses are just figuring it out. Amazing. Anyway, so I was reading about Aaron Rodgers now, where he's is he going to go to the Jets? Is he going to where's he going? Is he going to the Jets? Now here comes New England. There was one other team in there. So what are they going to do? So that's really the question is who is the other team? So it's the Jets, New England, and I don't remember the other team. San Francisco. So now all of a sudden these three teams are like, now is this real or rumor? Not sure, but it's going to where's Rodgers going? What's the holdup? Is it Rodgers? So the Jets are waiting for him. Now here comes New England. They don't like Mac Jones. Well, I could have told you that. If you would have went to fucking Brady Zappi last year, you might have made the playoffs and might have won a lot in the playoffs with Zappi. So do they not like Zappi? So they're shopping Jones, but I don't think they're shopping Jones to get Aaron Rodgers. That probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But if they get him, I could see Belichick. He's on his way out. They're fighting. The owner's pissed. Like, okay, look, we won all these Super Bowls with Brady. He goes. We haven't even made the playoffs. So Belichick's facing a reality dose that maybe he's not the greatest coach ever. I hate when people say that, when anybody's the greatest anything ever. It's just, who the fuck knows? I hate when I hear these legend forecasters or this legend gold guy, and I'm like, fuck you. Watch my thing. And I don't claim to be a legend, but I know more than this idiot that you're talking about. He's a legend. Well, in your mind, he's a legend, not in reality. So that's what you have there. So will Rodgers go? Where is he going? What's taking him so long? Green Bay's loving it because now they have a bidding war. They're all excited, going, "Oh, good, we can get New England's picks, and we can get the Jets' picks, or we can get San Francisco's picks." San Francisco's clever because it's perfect. They have him for a year. Get rid of Lance. Brock Purdy should be recovered, even if he has to sit out this year. Hopefully, he can play. But if he can't play, he can sit out a year, and then hopefully he can play. He's proven he's good. I hate when these people are questioning Brock Purdy. Well, he's not looking. What the fuck are you watching? He went back. He read the defense. He lit it up. He's confident. He looked really good. He looked good. Hello, not like Lamar Jackson. So that's the point of that is he looks good. So we will see. But that's what we have there is where does Rodgers go? What's he waiting for? And everything. And then you wonder what all these football teams and players, are they aware of what's happening, that they're all going to get fucked? here's these guys with $1 million contracts, and what's going to happen with them? All their money's going to zero. And Bobby has stated, well, they're not going to pay in silver and gold. Some guys wanted Bitcoin. So you're Aaron Rodgers, you're going to get $10 million to play for whoever next year. You want your money in money? So I don't know what's going on. I hear all these commercials like nothing's happening. Oh, go to Disney and do this and do that. And you're kind of like, nobody gets it. Come to Vegas. Like, what are you kidding me? Vegas just put 2 new hotels out there. What are you crazy? Nobody can read the economy. It astonishes me that nobody has an economist on their staff. And when I look for economic jobs to do what I do here, to tell them buy your gold and silver, there's nobody has these jobs. There's a few banks with economic jobs, but no business is smart enough to have an economist on it. And if they do, they don't want to listen to me. They're going to go listen to their banker or their broker or whoever. They're just morons. I mean, they just don't get it, or they just don't understand it. I guess they don't understand it. But what the fuck are you doing? You can get out of, you need to get your money into gold. My one friend at the last job I worked at, I remember about $100,000 marched into the gold guy and gave him the check and got 55 ounces of gold. And now he's one happy camper, because not only did his 100 grand not lose value, but the 55 ounces have gone up dramatically. So we will see. So let's check the gold price again, just for fun. Gold price today, futures 2036, and we'll go to the actual gold price 2020 with silver at 24.89. Now I love this one, right? Let's go back 30 days. It's up $207. This is still derivative gold. This isn't even real gold. So, and then but the funny part is, then let's look at the Dow, and it's up 59. See, this is the Madoff right here. This is the Madoff. It's at 33,461, up $59. Why is it up? The Dow should not be up. The stocks they're not in good health, and they're going to crash. So you're like, why is it up? So it's just this is the problem. People don't know. Russia mounts tax you revenge for what is it? It's a revenge game for something. It's fucking commercials.
Hey guys, I've been getting a lot of questions about how Medicare recipients can still claim their flex cards. So
the Ukrainian port city of Odessa
revenge for bloggers' assassination. So there was a Russia attacks Ukraine's Odessa for a blogger. Russia bombs Odessa. Russia's offensive in Ukraine continues. Japanese eyes bomb shelter. Inside the mind of Putin, how Trump plans to fight his indictment. Dollar's new challenger, the yuan. Yeah, see. So it's tough because all this is what we already know. I mean, it's what we've talked about. So I don't see anything new. So when I see the YouTubers, oh, you have 10 days. I went into one guy, he said, you have 10 days, and it was 10 days ago. So I go in and leave a comment like, well, you fucked up again, didn't you? Like, is it going to be another 10 days? See, people cannot predict the time of when this happens. You can see it's happening, but I know I was asked, and my answer was, I don't know, but my answer was what? Buy your gold and silver now before it's too expensive. And I still say that. Because what's happening, it's going up, and it's 2020. So that means you go to the store, it's 21.20. Now, how quick are you to spend 21.20 on an ounce of gold? Maybe a half ounce or a quarter. You could spend 600 on a quarter. You probably wouldn't blink. But that other than that, you're not doing it. So it's a question of when it hits 10,000 an ounce, you're going to run and buy an ounce of gold. When silver hits 1,000 an ounce, I hope nobody here kills themselves for not buying more at 25, right? But even now, if silver's 25, that means it's 30 at the store. And for some reason, he keeps his eagle at 35, which makes no sense. I don't know what he's doing. He doesn't know how to price his precious metals. So you're just looking at him like he's a moron. But that's basically it. He's basically clueless. So that's what you have is you basically have these guys that if you don't psychologically buy it at the 25 that you could have bought it at for the last 2 years since I've been bitching about it, what are you going to do? If you can't, then what are you going to do? You're going to buy it. It hits 500 an ounce. You're going to buy it then? Are you going to panic and buy 2 ounces that you could have had 20 for? So I go buy 10 and it's $250. Or he was out. I had to buy Eagles the last time. And then he finally got in the things. I'll go take a check today. I got to go buy there because I got to go get some gas so I could go take that route to the gas station to drive by just to walk in. I'm getting a little irritated with these people because they don't understand. A, they don't understand an INFJ. And B, the one guy is being smart aleck with me. I don't have time for that shit. I'm the smartest man in the store, and I know that. And then they start fucking with me. Yeah, okay, go fuck with somebody else. I don't have time for that. So we will see. But that's really the point of it is that. So you've got to be. Can you be all right if silver's 500 an ounce, and now you need to buy it, and you're really buying it to get out of the dollar, and it's a double edged. I know it to sell it higher, and that's a bunch of bullshit. You are buying it to get out of this, but because it's been held down, you are going to get the kick of it going much higher. So I don't know why they're not saying that, why they're just saying, well, you're buying it to get out of dollars. But as the dollar goes down, like Alistair will say, well, gold never goes up. It's just the dollar goes down. We know the dollar's going down, and therefore we know gold's going to go up unless, but I think what he's saying is if it doesn't go up that high, don't be upset. You should be happy you got out of dollars. I think that's what he's trying to say. You're getting off the Titanic, you're getting onto gold. So just be happy you got off the Titanic. Now, if gold doesn't go as high as you think, don't be upset. Well, I don't think anybody's going to be upset, but it will start taking off. Now, I don't know if there's what COMEX is planning to do to keep it at $2,200 an ounce, but it definitely is going to start going way past that. Again, once we get physical now, are they saying we're not going to get the physical? I find that hard to believe we won't get the physical with the dollar's backed by gold. And before the U.S. would go to war with it to keep it from going to a gold standard, but I don't think they can do that with Russia and China. Those are the players you really can't keep from going to a gold standard. So that's kind of what I look at. Anyway, so that's your point with that. There'll be more banks collapsing. So basically, what Credit Suisse collapsed was because the Saudis had all their money in it and they saw what was happening. They pulled their money out, probably to buy gold, probably to deal with the yuan and to get out of the dollar. So they probably needed money. And, the Saudis were the biggest investors in Credit Suisse. And so because of that, you as I made the point, if Bobby gives me 100,000 to buy bank, I'm not expecting Bobby to ever grab the 100,000 out. If I take the money and invest it in bonds or give out loans, so I can make money on the money and give Bobby his 2% and I make 5 on it. That's what a bank does. So I'm never expecting Bobby to come take the 100 grand. Then I'm fucked because I don't have his money. I lent it out. And that's what the Credit Suisse probably never thought Saudi would take $100 billion out of the bank. And of course they couldn't handle it. And it's the Ponzi scheme of the banks, right? If the Madoff money doesn't come in, I can't pay the guys out. So they never expect everybody to do a bank run, and that's why they'll say stuff so you don't do bank runs. But my point is, grab your money now ahead of the bank run. Even if there aren't no bank runs, the money's worthless, and you'll never get it out, and the bank will collapse. So why do you want to leave your money in the bank? Do you trust the banks? Do you trust the government? I mean, you got to be out of your mind. And what would make you trust them? Yet you do, because the people that do, I shouldn't say you, the people that do don't have an idea. They're like stupid, and then they go, well, we got to trust the government. They won't there as long. They're our government. And so they're blind to the point of they don't have a clue. They have no desire to learn. So therefore they're going to do what the government tells them to do. And unfortunately, so when the government lies to them, they can't handle it. Or like Madoff lying, oh, how could Bernie lie to us? Oh, no, he's such a good guy, and da-da-da-da-da. And the funny part of Madoff was he had a successful company on Wall Street. So here's a guy with a real company making real money. What the fuck are you doing a Ponzi scheme for when you don't need it? You have a legitimate investment company on Wall Street. That's why everybody couldn't understand it. And then when the SEC didn't do anything, so people are, how can Bernie lie to us? Well, that's how can the government lie to us? They're saying everything's okay. So it becomes really, that. And then these communists and liberals who, want big government, want government to take control and take care of them. They still don't get it. It's just like, I don't want to work, so let the government take care of me. I mean, that's about what it is. I don't want to be controlled, and I don't want to be taken care of. That's probably my INFJ is I'll take care of myself. Thank you very much. I don't need you. I just need me, and just leave me alone and let me go do what I do. I'm going to go buy gold because that's the best thing to do. So I've already analyzed 20 different situations in my head, and I've come out with gold and silver. The first thing I thought about when Biden, here's how I work. Biden says we're going to spend $5 trillion here on this bill. The first thing I said is, how do I get my money out of the US dollar? Where do I put it? Well, I can put it in euros or Swiss franc. No, wait, I can't. They're not any different. And the only alternative then became gold and silver, not Bitcoin. So that, and not the stock. So it was like immediately get your money out of the dollar and put it into gold and silver. And that's pretty much what I did. And, so it's hidden away. Are people going to come in and steal it from me? I don't think so. I like to think that, I'm not living in a mansion waving a money sign with a little gold thing in the window going, yes, we have gold. I would think they would go after the gold stores first, the jewelry stores. If you're going to have a gang and you're going to have a mob with guns and they're going to go, they're not going door to door. They don't know if anybody has gold. It's not worth their time. They're going to the jewelry store. The store that sold me this is on the corner. The gold and silver store where I buy the stuff is a couple miles away. They're going after them. They're not. Yeah, they sell gold. They're not. Oh yeah, let's go to the professor's apartment, and yeah, I'm sure he's got a bunch of gold. I don't know, but that's where I'm at. I just. I think it's all bark with this central bank digital. I think they'll have it, but I don't know what the rules will be. Are we all going to be forced to? Then there'll be black market. I just don't see that. I think our gold and silver is going to save us. And then the question is, I see that a lot of people are buying passports to get the fuck out of here. So where are we going? I went to Lisbon. I'm going to Spain. I'm checking out. Is it a good place to live? I don't know if it's a good place to live or not. It's got to be better than Alabama, right? So anyway, I found out about that Alabama thing. It was the bill from the moving company. They had to call it revenue to me for some reason. And so they grossed up the taxes. So that's what I got. It was really a zero for me, right? They paid the 5,000, 3,000 in taxes, 8,000. I never got the 8,000, but I've been credited the taxes of $3,000 of it. And then the 5 simply paid the bill. So I didn't have to pay the bill, but I never had to. That was always supposed to be the company. So I'm still very confused because in my mind, I didn't get a check for anything. And the fact that the guy moved me, but that was part of your thing. Why is that income to me? So I'm very confused by that still. But I know the taxes are on my tax return. So, or on my W-2, it's got more money for, it's got more money on the income side, but it's also got the taxes. So it's like a break even, right? They've added money, but they added taxes. So when I do my taxes, I'm actually expecting a bigger refund because a bigger overpayment because they took a lot of taxes out of it. Professor, I had to go to the store. I'm back now. Are you talking about 401k? I can talk about 401k, Bobby, if you want to talk about it. What do you want to know about it? I was talking about my moving expense to Alabama. I thought I was going to get a check for $5,000, but what it was the Mayflower moving me down. The bill was $5,000. And so the bill being $5,000, they had to show it as like income to me, but they paid the tax on it. So really it's $8,000, $3,000 in tax. They've paid it. $5,000 was the bill of the moving company. And I'm still scratching my head going, why is that income to me? Well, why is, it's like, it's the strangest thing. It isn't income, and then I'm like, what was the 10,000 for? I thought that was for the moving. So I don't know, but I think I'll actually make out for it. So, how did withdrawing your 401k affect your taxes? I remember you mentioned that you took, I didn't take all of it out. I still have 25 grand in there. So let's say I took 25 grand out. It's not 20%. It's what your tax base is. So if my taxes are 50,000, and I paid tax on that out of the payroll when I got my paychecks, I add the 25 grand to the 50 grand and I say I made 75,000. And of course I didn't pay tax on the 25,000 out. That's what I'll owe extra in the on my tax return. So it's non-taxable income. Now it's income that should have been taxed but wasn't. Now I had the option of paying the tax as it came out. I did not have the option of the state. I had to pay the state tax, but it was like $400 on 25,000 because it was supposed to be like 6% in Michigan. But so that's what's happening is I could have gotten the taxes on and said, fuck no, I want the gold. So I don't know what I would have lost, but I wanted the 25 grand to buy gold with, not to pay the tax on it. So I'll probably do the same this year. I have the 25 grand left. I'll probably pull it, not take the tax out of it. And now I'm making no income. So now I pulled the 25, I made 25 grand. It should be a very low income bracket because Social Security doesn't count as income, and a little bit of the unemployment. So that's what I'll do. But you do have a choice of getting the tax taken out, but I guess it depends on what your plan is. I didn't want to lose on getting another ounce or two of gold by getting the tax taken out. I'll pay the tax now. I paid the tax early, right? So yes, it's not, you're paying, it's not 20%. It's not a capital gain, as my friend, he's the dumbest CPA I've ever met. He never knows any. It's like you can ask him, "How do you fill out a W? You know, what's the form number?" And it's 1040, right? And he wouldn't get that right. So he's just not. I don't know. He's one of these smart guys, but not logical. And so he initially said it was a capital gains. Now he's saying no. I didn't think it was a capital gains. So it's just added to your income, and then here's my income, and here's what I owe in taxes. And the extra that you didn't get out of your paycheck, you're going to go to that, which is pulling the IRA money out to buy more gold. I'll get the last laugh because I bought the gold, and the gold will go way up more than the tax will. So it's a bit different from a capital gain. It's not a right, exactly. It's not a capital gain at all. You're just pulling it out. Where capital gains go up percentages, right? Well, it goes off of what you made on them. So if it's a $20,000, but it costs you 10, the capital gains 10, and then it's like 20%. So yes, but if it's not, if it's just you're pulling your IRA, then it just becomes income, and then you pay the tax on the income. But if we sold, let's say 100, but if we sold, let's say 100K of gold, it would be around 15% added to income, correct? Well, it depends on your income. As I've showed you, it all depends on your income. But let's say you're at a big income, you sell 100K of gold. Yeah, I guess it's either 15 or 20%. Added to your income. Yeah. If you made zero, it'll be a lot. It'll be like 5%. So I showed you that calculation. It's on my other phone. See, this is the problem. The other phone has all the stamping, all the stars where you can just go to it. And that's what I hate about the new phone. I got to go through and put in all my bookmarks that I had, my gas, my electricity, all the stuff that I paid. And I have to go back in and create them again. I did my Fifth Third. It was an app, but like Wells Fargo, I owe Wells Fargo because I got a 0%. I gotta open up the website and start, so I know what it is, but I don't know all of it. I got to send Jenna some money for the trip. I got to open up a RIA and save it. So it's all that little shit. So that's why for the $100, I'll probably get my phone fixed, so then they can just transfer it over, and we'll go from there. My one buddy who could do it is not in business anymore. I think he's selling houses or something. So he was good. I trusted him. This guy yesterday, I don't know if I trusted him, but it was just out by the dentist. So I saw, oh, they fix phones. But he didn't have it because my phone's old, so they didn't have my make, so they couldn't change the screen. And I'm going, can't you fucking fix it without changing the screen? Can't you just wire it? And which I don't know, but they probably, it's like when you get your computer fucked up and it gets a virus. So instead of fixing it, they just reload the whole thing. It's like the poor man's way of doing it, but they do it. And then your computer's fine, but it's all fucked up because now you got to reset everything. You talking about the tax computations. Well, like if you sell gold, it's a capital gain. So it's going to be the net. So if you sell it for 30 grand and you paid 2 grand for it, you made 28 grand. And then it's going to be what's your income. If it's 28 grand, you probably pay, 5%, 6% of it. If you make it 100 grand, you're going to pay 20%. So it just depends on what your income is. And then it depends on if you want to sell the gold, because you don't want to just sell it to sell it. This is not a stock. I think that's what Alistair McLean says when he says it. You're selling it to get out of this per se before the Titanic sinks. You're not, however, selling it. So if you get 30 grand of this shit or the next shit, then what are you going to do with the 30 grand? So unless you're going to pay bills or do something with the money specifically, you don't want to do it. If you want to buy a car, just use the gold, or to buy a house, use the gold. Don't cash it in and get the cash. Now, on the other hand, if you want to, so if you actually need to cash the gold in, not to make profit, just to get it, that's a different story. But we're not doing this to buy gold at 2,000 and sell it at 10. Only we're doing, okay, so gold hits 50,000. I bought it for 2. I am not selling it at 50. It's not a stock, right? Now it's worth 50 grand. I'm only selling it when I need money to buy a house, to buy a car, pay off the credit card or the whatever it is. That if I need it for a bill specifically, then I will sell it to get money to pay the bill. Otherwise, I'm not selling it because what am I going to do with the money? I want the money out of this shit. So I'm getting my money out of this shit. That's why I'm buying gold and silver in the first place. So I'm only using it to get out of, I'm using it to get out of the dollar, which I think is what Alistair McLean's saying. This is not an investment. You're using it to get out. But I don't want to then sell it for that. This is not a stock we're selling. Oh, it went from 10 to 30. Now we're going to take our profit. And then where do we put our money? And that's the problem, right? There's nowhere to put it. So if you got gold at 2,000, you're not looking to sell it at 20. Unless you need the money, you're just letting it ride. Even if it hits 100 grand, you're not buying it for that. So it's worth 100 grand. It's like a Rolex. You don't buy the Rolex. It might go off from 20 grand to 50 grand, right? But you're not really buying it to sell it. You're buying it because you want a Rolex and it's a watch. So you're really not buying it to oh, Rolex went up 10 grand, I'm going to sell it, right? Or the gold chain. I didn't buy this because I got a master's, not to sell. So really that's the point of it. It's really not, you're not buying it to sell it. Now the taxes, yeah, you'll pay a little tax, but considering what you made on it, it's nickels and dimes. You paid 2, it's worth 50. You made 48 grand, you pay 3 grand in taxes. Who cares? If you need the money, but only if you need the money. Otherwise, just keep it in gold. And, your family will be bitching at you and you'll go, sorry, I tried to warn you, but you didn't listen. Or maybe you give an ounce of silver to your dad or something, or, the kids. The professor can sell at 500K and buy the Lions. Who'd want the Lions? If I did, I'd have to be the coach and the GM. I'd be like Vince Lombardi. I'd be the coach and the GM, and I'd get rid of all these idiots who are hanging around. Yeah, I know the Lions. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the only good bright thing of the whole thing is Ford will be broke. Nobody's going to buy their electric cars. And see, that's the thing I say. They will win their first Super Bowl. Well, with me, they would, because I don't know if you were on when I was doing my draft analysis. So I looked at the 1970 Pittsburgh Steelers, and I said, this is how you draft. You draft Joe Green first. If you can find a Bradshaw, you draft him. Then you're drafting Franco Harris, Jack Lambert, Jack Ham, Donnie Shell, Mel Blount. The next year you're drafting, whoever, they had Andrew. You're drafting L.C. Greenwood and Dwight White, and you're drafting Mike Wagner. You're drafting your offensive line. And the following year, you're drafting Swan and Stallworth. That's the game plan to draft, right? You got to get your defense and your stars, and you take the best player. You don't go and take, let's draft, like Houston, let's draft Richardson as quarterback. What the fuck? Okay, how does that fit into the plan? You need Joe Green before you need anybody. Then you need Mel Blount, Mike Wagner, Jack Ham, and Andy Russell. Then you get after Dwight White and Wagner and Lambert and but now we need Swan and Stallworth. That's how you do it. You don't fuck around getting drafting Richardson as your quarterback. I mean, they couldn't win with Bradshaw for 5 years because he sucked. He sucked the whole time he was there. He got lucky he had Swan and Stallworth. I mean, Bobby could have thrown to Swan and Stallworth for 5 touchdowns in the Super Bowls. Just throw it anywhere near him. Swan will jump out of the stadium and catch the ball, and Stallworth nobody could touch. But the passes sucked. Swan had to do all those circus catches because the passes were so bad. And then Stallworth against the Rams, Bradshaw fucked his passes up both times on those big passes. So that's not how you build. I would go after where's Joe Green, and if I can't get him, at least give me LC Greenwood and get me Jack Ham and get me Mel Blount right now. Get me some. I should be able to get a Ham and a Blount and an LC Greenwood. I might not be able to get the Lawrence Taylor, the Ronnie Lott, the Joe Green. I might not be able to find them because they're very rare, but at least I know I can get the Dwight White and LC Greenwood and Jack Ham and Andy Russell and Mel Blount and JT Thomas or Donnie Shell. I know I can get those guys. And then it's just fill in when you get a chance for this one and Stallworth and stuff like that. That's really the key to it. And that's how you build, not we'll take CJ Stroud out of Ohio State. They're all missing the point. You don't. That's why Houston and Indy keep drafting first because they keep missing the point. You need the defense and you need the Franco Harris. That's how you win. If you get a Franco Harris, and I hate when everybody talks about running backs, so you can't win with a running back. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's the key guy, but you got to power run them. It's in the goal line. How do you think Philly scored all their points? It was on the stupid quarterback sneak play that apparently will be there next year, so I can't wait for that. You'd think the defense would get smarter and bring in the jumbo William Perry's and say, you want a quarterback sneak? Let's quarterback sneak. And we're going to have, 5 really big guys that you ain't moving. And then good luck on your quarterback sneak because you're obvious on it. You got 2 blockers behind him. You're quarterbacking sneaking. You're not smart enough to run the Dave Casper play. Anyway, what was I wanted to show you? So I wanted to show you our guy. I watched them do Dimension. I'm not going to show it. I'm just going to. He did one on Dimension because Bruce Willis got dementia. And it all comes back to preventing it is insulin resistance and the fasting and no sugar. So just about doing that cures everything. And that's why I tell you that, Bobby. It's stay away from the sugar, like dementia. Oh no, what causes dementia was the sugar on one hand, but then thinking. So it's almost like he was saying, like if you just sit and you don't walk and then all your muscles become, flat. I can't think of the word, but they all get not used. And what he was saying is you have to use your mind, which is the way what we do here. So when you see me going through all this, I'm using my mind, I'm keeping it sharp. So that's good to prevent dementia. And Michael J. Fox and Lou Gehrig now that was muscles, but just the dementia, it's using it, right? So really, when you've got to use your brain and think like an exercise. And that's why exercises are very good because it uses your mind. Your mind has to think, oh, it's left, right, it's do this, it's, So the more exercise you do, it's good for your mind and you won't get the dementia because you're thinking and you need to keep thinking. In other words, you don't want to not use your brain's muscles, which are your thoughts, your thinking process. You don't want to go to sleep. You don't want to just watch TV and, so you want to continually get information, and that's what we're doing here. So the odds on us getting dementia are very small because we're working our minds. We're thinking. Even when Bobby asked me the questions, he's thinking, I'm thinking of the answers, and that's what you need to do for it. Then he gets into the best way to prevent cancer on this video is basically it's the same thing. It's the sugars. It's he says the cells get bad. So he says, but you need to stop it before it gets bad. So as the cells get bad, they should die. And most of us have cancer, but we kill it ourselves, and it never gets to the point where it's spreading. He says that's just pretty normal, but once it starts spreading, you're fucked. So what you do is now we do our fast and we don't eat our sugars and everything that would cause it. We prevent, and then we won't get cancer. So if we do what we tell it and all that, then we're fine. So if we go to so I don't like see, I don't like this. If you read the note, I'm getting pissed off at these guys. It says CB, central banks positioning themselves before the boat goes down. So you're watching my videos. You're not giving me credit for it. I'm talking about the Titanic sinking. That's my own. I made it up. I put it out there. And this fucking asshole is like, they're positioning before the boat goes down. Oh, well, where'd you get that, motherfucker? I don't mind them using my stuff. Just ask. I have no problem with that. Positioning before the boat goes down. Give me a fucking break. Trust in system is failing. So trust in system is failing is what I'm talking about. God, I hate when it goes to the things. There's got to be, say again, it's a new phone, so it's set up differently. So then this guy makes it like there will be no silver, but he's lying. There will be silver. There won't be silver to buy. So I hate that. And then he says, banking crisis not over. God, I hate that. Banking crisis not over, as we know. The banks are still fucked. See, but I don't like this guy, this Craig Hemke guy. I don't get him. I listen to him, and he doesn't know anything. These guys are just salesmen. So there's not a lot out there. This was a good one, Bobby, 116. So 116. It doesn't stick. But anyway, 116 was a good one. All right, let's go back to poker. So I watched the end of Rounders. And as I was stating the other day, but I'll repeat it, it to get off econ, but I just remembered something from this morning. Oh, go ahead, Bobby, whatever. So in Rounders, the guy plays differently. Again, it was learning the man. All right. Met this new hit younger Cuban girl this morning at the gym. Thing that sucks is she only knew Spanish, and Bobby Bo was very limited in Spanish. Well, here's how you handle her, Bobby. You just look her in the eyes, and you smile at her, and you go like this. How about if we go out to eat? So this was in Amsterdam. This girl probably didn't know any English or very little. And she was the girl I went with in her room. There you go. She's making conversation, so she likes you, Bobby. So what happened was, so I meet this girl, attractive. I go into her room, and we do our thing. And she can't speak a lot of English, a little bit. And I said, I like your looks, and I don't know if she understood it or not. So at the end, we're dressing, and I go like this, and I go, do you want to go eat with me? I asked her out to eat, and she said no, but I think she understood what I was asking her. And then the next day when I went, she's the one that ran out of the room and gave me a big hug and a kiss in the middle of the street in Amsterdam, which the girls never come out of the room. So she runs out of her room, comes and gets me, pulls her in her room. And obviously, we didn't need to say anything. So I wish I'd have got her phone number. I went back the next 2 or 3 days and she wasn't there. So obviously they didn't like how close we were getting, but just look them in the eyes and smile and go give them a hug or something. You read her as an INFJ that she likes you, which is perfect. So that part of the adventure is over with. You don't have to worry about the no. You've already got the read on her. So just go over, shake her hand. If you have friends that speak Spanish, or don't kid yourself. Jenna speaks Ukrainian very well and English okay. She will pull her phone out and go up to a website and she'll say, type it in. And I will say, let's go to dinner. And then it translates and she says, okay. So don't kid yourself. The girl will know how to translate English to Spanish, especially if she's living in Tampa. And she wants, she's at a gym. She likes Bobby Bo. She'll find that translator. Otherwise, you find that translator site, and then you type in English. Would you like to go get, a meal or dinner or whatever, and then put it in the Spanish, and then she'll read it, and then off you go. So that takes care of the barrier there. She was checking out Bobby Bo, but then she ate red, laughing, saying no English, etc. She ate red. She turned red, laughing. Okay. I still got her number, but that kind of ruined Bobby's. Well, there you go. No, don't. You're the man. You're the INFJ. She's lucky to be with you, not the other way around. So what I would do is then go to the translator and, or you can just text her. If you got her number, just text her, but text her in Spanish and just use the translator. This translator's on the phone, English to Spanish, and type it in. Now, it might not be exactly what you're trying to say. You'll have to see, but I remember this girl in Russia. So I would text her, and it was like she would text me back in Russian, and then I would translate it, and it was a real strange, like it didn't sound right, but you kind of knew what it was. Forget that main part. After she laughed, she pulled out her phone and started typing in Google. Oh, well, there you go. Why did you just say that, Bobby? Oh, there you go. So that's fine. That solves that problem. And then you learn a few words in Spanish, hello, goodbye, and stuff like that. And, it doesn't really matter. The language is not an issue. It's the eyes, it's the chemistry, the eyes, the posture. That's smile at her, give her the eye. That's what you need. The words are kind of meaningless anyway. Well, that's how I am in Russian. I can say spasiba and pajalster and do svidaniya. I know a few words. I can't, if they're doing a conversation, I have no idea what they're saying. Every once in a while, I get a pity bio, which means I understand, but that's it. I don't, but then we use the translator. And with Jenna, she speaks pretty good English. Daria, I don't know if she speaks English at all. And I said, well, we'll use the translator. Who cares if we like each other? It's immaterial. We'll know what to do when we meet. She understood zero English, which usually they know the basics. She was a cute little Cuban, though. Well, there you go. If you liked her, that's then nothing. Then that shouldn't stop you. Just tell her you're Bobby Bo, and that should do it. That should be all you need, Bobby. Tell her you're the man, and she likes you, so that's it. Take her out, go out to dinner, and then lay the smackdown at her. Give her the people's elbow. Come on, Bobby. Tell her you smell what she's cooking. Just, you know what to say. But good for you. That's good. Normally in Alabama, the girls would just run away because, oh, you're an old man. I'm like, not that old. I'm Bobby Rowe from there you go. Just lay that smackdown. Why don't you bring the rock song on, right? So when you meet her, I think the first thing you do.
When people contact us, they always ask, is this call really free? And the answer has always been, it's free.
If you smell
See,
what the rock is cooking.
If you go like that to her, how's she going to resist you, right? So that ought to get you right there. So how could she say no to that? Oh, I got the rock music blasting, wearing my kangaroos around my neck. Don't take her to, well, maybe she'll like pig's ears. I don't know. Well, that's what you do, Bobby. That would happen to be on my phone as you walk up to her, and maybe she's a wrestling fan. Everybody knows The Rock. Everybody wants that smackdown and the people's elbow. I mean, that's pretty obvious. Yeah, I wouldn't go to the Ric Flair woos, and then you'd have to get her in a figure four. Nah, that could get messy. So good for you, Bobby. I'm happy for you. My problem is I talk to all of them. I don't talk to one. I talk to 100. Yeah, she looks nice. I'll talk to her. But anyway, so I got one more week off to Spain, so I'll just do that. I'll wear nice pants with the belt using one of my Cougarans as a belt buckle. Well, there you go, Bobby. You could give her a piece of silver, and she'll love you. Just say, I got silver. Well, it'd be better if you had gold. Then you could get her for sure. Well, see, my point is, if you like the girls, why do you want to be with one? This is my whole argument with marriage. Why do you want? Okay, so you're with your Puerto Rican girl. You can't be with your white girl, and you can't meet this girl. See, that's my point. You've got to be free to meet these other women, not to hurt the others, but just to get to know this one. Maybe she's, better than the other two. Maybe she's not. Maybe you'll find out she's just after your money and you don't care. Who knows? But at least you can still play, and then you don't feel locked. It's like a diet. You can't have chocolate cake and you want chocolate cake. And I'm saying, oh, you can have a piece of chocolate cake. You go back to fasting after it, but that's, so this is what you have. Well, there you go. And you just keep it as a rotation, and you're happy and they're happy. And that's why I don't understand marriage. Like, oh, you're going to have to choose one and then be married. And then the whole dynamic changes when you're married. Then you have the kids, and now you're really fucked, because we don't really want to be, I don't mind helping my daughters, like being their softball coach, but I don't know. I want to be free. I'm not trying to be mean, but to, settle down and have the family and do the homework. It's like, oh God, you got to be kidding me. it's just not my cup of tea, really. I don't think it's a lot of guys want that. Some do, but most don't. The Russians immediately leave. The Russians have mistresses on the side that the wife knows about when they have the kid. The kid goes to the grandmother, to the wife's mother, and then they go out fooling around. But they don't really, to them, it's not, oh, now we're going to have a family. You know, the Russian guy goes and has 5 mistresses on the side. So he doesn't want to be daddy too often. Anyway, so no, it's fine. So that's really what the point is. But my Chinese is closed for 2 weeks. She's on spring break. She said, I'm not going anywhere. I'm on spring break. So she's, I says, well, I won't be here until, I won't be here I'll miss her this week. This week she's out, and then the next 2 weekends I'll be out of town. So I'll see you in a month, which is good. I probably eat too much Chinese. I don't know if that's causing my foot problems or not. My foot, it's kind of like you feel the little blood. I don't know. It's like swelling a little bit. So I can walk, but it feels funny to walk. And I don't know, I keep taking my pills and icing it, and it's okay. And now I'm at the point where I can walk fairly well. And then I'll go in the hot tub, and I feel pretty good in the hot tub and pretty good in the regular. I don't know. Darius saying hello. See, now she types in English, even though she can't speak it. So now I just got a note, explore your photos. So I'm wondering if I needed, like I just turned on the photo part of, I just sent Daria the picture, right? I had to turn on and allow it. So now I'm hoping, oh, good. Maybe all the photos, all I have in my WhatsApp now is the photos I took, like the one I just sent to her. That's in there. The one she sent to me, I don't have. I have on the old phone. That's why I want to translate them out there. Now, fortunately, I took pictures that I emailed to myself. So I took 10 pictures and I emailed them just to always have in my email. So I should be able to download those, and at least I didn't lose everything, but I don't like it. But I don't understand that when you on WhatsApp, they normally go into your photo gallery, and then I think they take them from WhatsApp, and then I name them like Daria, right? So all the Daria WhatsApp pictures I moved to Daria's folder. That's what I'm missing, because I pull them out of WhatsApp. I don't. Otherwise, they're just all there, and this way I can separate them into Daria's folder and Jenna's folder and vacations and all that shit. That's what healthy, but maybe the sauce is a little. I'm just thinking out loud. Look at Professor sending the selfie. Yeah, well, this way she can see me. She's at work in St. Petersburg. She lives in St. Petersburg. She knows the war is going on, but they're not getting invaded. They did invade a mall. They blew up a mall in Moscow. And I says, are you safe? Are they blowing up your mall? She didn't know what I was talking about. So I sent her the YouTube that shows the mall in Moscow being blown up. She had no clue. So that's what they do in Russia. They don't have any like outside. Putin's blocked it all. So they don't know that the mall in Moscow is being blown up unless I see it on YouTube and then I send it to her. Does she have gold or silver too, or just Jenna? Just Jenna right now, because I haven't been able to go there. So like now, when I go meet Jenna, I'm going to give her another 1/2 ounce of gold and 10 ounces of silver. So as I meet her, I give it to her, but I haven't been able to meet Daria yet because she's in Russia and we can't go to Russia. I can't see. I can meet Jenna in Spain and Portugal, and she trains out of Ukraine to Poland and flies out of Poland because there's no airports in the Ukraine. But I can't fly to St. Petersburg. They won't let me in on a U.S. flight, and she can't get out. So it's a problem until the war is over. Then hopefully I can go there. I don't know if they're going to allow Americans to go to Russia after the war. However, she should be able to get out to, let's say, Germany, and then I can meet her in Germany or Switzerland or somewhere like that. So that'll be my plan. We're going to meet in Turkey because Russians are welcome there, but then they had the fucking earthquake, and now they got the hyperinflation, and so she can't get out. But that's our problem there. But Jenna's lucky she can at least train. It's a 21-hour fucking train to go from eastern Ukraine near the Donetsk region all the way to the Poland, which is the west side of the country. 21 hours, but I don't think the train goes too fast. So that's really the point of it is that. So she's got to take this train. It's a long train ride, and she'll do that. But that's what it is. So yeah. So fortunately, I can meet Jenna. I asked her here. She won't come because she won't leave her kids, even though it's a fucking war. I don't think this is World War II. I don't think the Russians and the U.S. are bombing Berlin. Boom, 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 boom. I got a feeling this is like, she sent me a picture, Jenna, she's at the beach one day, or she's out going to the bank or going, I send her money. She goes to the bank, goes to the store to buy food, she goes to the gym. And I'm wondering, well, I don't think it's that dangerous there. She can walk to the gym and everything. So I think they get bombs once in a while, but I don't think it's all the time. And I don't think Russia can bomb them all the time. It'd be very expensive. So I think it's kind of like, oh, here comes a missile every once in a while. And they had the air raids and the sirens go off. But I don't think, she'll tell me, oh, we had 15 sirens today. And then like today, she's not saying anything. So that's what she has. So anyway, that's life in the Ukraine and Russia right now, unfortunately. So we sit here like, oh, no problem. We're worried about central bank digital currencies and the banking collapses, and they're in the middle of a fucking war. It's just crazy. And it's really a bullshit war. I still don't know the point. So Putin can get Russia back. Really? He goes to war for a year over that? There's no way. And the U.S., I've heard the U.S., that Putin's wanted this to have peace treaties 3 or 4 times, and the U.S. will not allow it. They keep saying, no, we're not, or Putin says, give me back, what's that, on the Sea of Azov, no, that's Romanian. What do they got? They got at the bottom where the water is, that city. And so Putin's like, give me the city back and then we'll end the war. And the U.S. won't do it. So the U.S. is we want to make money off the defense contractor stock or whatever the fuck's going on. So I think that's what's doing it. So anyway, but she will have gold and silver. And then Irina is having the baby, and I says, well, I would FedEx you gold, but I don't trust it. I do not trust Romanians that if I FedEx gold and silver or UPS'd it or somehow mailed it, it would get there. I don't trust it, and I'm not going to just send gold over. It's too important that she has it. So she said, well, wait till I have the baby, and then you can see the baby and give us the gold. And I said, okay, that'll work. And if she ever has the baby's 2 weeks overdue, and she's in the hospital, they're inducing, and she's still not. She says she's getting what is it? Not cramps, but blood clots. She says she's getting blood clots. So I told her, just blow out fireworks. That's what worked for my little one. It was July 4th. We went to the fireworks. A half hour later, my wife's fully dilated. We go to the hospital. There's 20 women there. So apparently the loud noise affects the baby. So I said, do that. And anyway, so I got to give some gold and silver to Irina also. But she's I'm her guardian angel, so I don't mind. I really don't mind giving them a little bit of gold and silver. That's half the intent of buying it, is to take care of them and protect them. That's what I'm about. So I don't really mind giving them a little. I don't give Jenna, I'm not going to give her 5 ounces. I'm going to probably give her 2/4 ounces and 10 ounces of silver and say, here you go. And it's a good test to get through the airport security. I think what I'll do is I'll put that white box, Bobby, that white that I put the silver in. I think I'll put that in my suitcase, and I'll pack like 7 ounces of silver, and the 2 ounces of gold, the 1/4 ounce of gold will be in the protector. And when they say empty your pockets, I'm going to take that out, and I'll have 4 or 5 quarters and some dimes in there, and I'll just put it all like in my shoe or just near my wallet in the Kleenex. They're only going to x-ray it, and that's it. And it's not that much, but it's a good test. And again, they're not really looking for, they just assume they're quarters and dimes. They don't really, I don't think they have a way of differentiating that they're gold and silver, just that they're coins. So that's what I think's happening. So we'll go from there. But anyway, so like I said, I'll help them out, and there it'll be. I told Jenna, I said, look, your ounce of gold's worth 73,000 hryvnias. Now do the math. There's like 36 to 1, so it's really $2,000 the ounce, but it's 73,000 hryvnia, which is it doesn't really buy a lot. So we'll see. I'll have to check out some gold. I'll be in Barcelona. I'll have to check out some gold stores there. I'm sure it'll be the same 2,000 an ounce, but I am curious how the other half lives. See if he has any. Bobby, I can get you a Spanish silver. If I see any, I'll get the number. You can have them ship it to you. That would be funny. I don't even know if Spain makes the gold. See, only certain countries have the gold and silver. The banks that do it. So we will see. But yeah, it should be nice. Outside of that, that's about, so she'll get more, but she understands it. She understands not to spend it now. She understands it's going up in value. And I've been telling her it's about to go. It's about to go. So when it hits 40,000 for us, it's going to be, she'll be a fucking millionaire in the Ukraine, because 40,000 times 40. So it'll be like $1.6 million for her in the Ukraine. Even though it's Ukrainian money, she'll be like, woo, off I go. So that, and the silver, if the silver goes to 2,000 an ounce, now she's not even paying for it, but once that goes, she'll be a happy girl. So that's one way I can take care of her. Instead of always sending money, if I give her gold and silver, then I say, okay, now sell it. There you go. And that's what's it. So what was I thinking? So anyway, so football, the draft, idiots don't know what they're doing. Oh, let's draft Richardson and CJ Stroud, and they wonder why they're drafting first every freaking year. Then I hear the Lions want to trade up for the Alabama linebacker, and I'm like, what a dumb move. First of all, he's not that good. I don't get why everybody on Alabama is a Hall of Famer in the NFL, and they can't do shit in college. So that's what I just hear that and I laugh like, yeah, okay. Yeah, they'll be lucky to win 5 games this year. They got lucky last year to win 9. They were 1-7, let's not forget. And then in the big game against a rough Carolina team with Sam Darnold, they got blown out by 30 points because they couldn't stop the run. So don't give me this great team. Draft's coming up the 27th, so we got 3 weeks. I'll be back the 21st, 22nd probably. 21st I'll be flying, so I won't be coherent on the 21st. So I'll probably do a show from there. We can talk some gold and just what the Spanish. If I see Professor Tokyo in Nairobi there, I'll let you know. That'd be so cool if I saw the professor in Tokyo there. I don't know what I would do. That would be, I would definitely walk up to him. But that would be fun. But it's funny, if I saw George Clooney, I wouldn't even walk up to him. You're an idiot. I have nothing to say to him. Wouldn't you do the same, Bobby? You'd meet the professor, you'd be excited. But if you met George Clooney or Brad Pitt, I'd be like, fuck you guys. You're a bunch of idiots. Barcelona. Yeah, next week. So Jenna will be there the day before, and her girlfriend's going to be there from Berlin, who's from the Ukraine. She moved to Berlin when the war broke out. Now it's her birthday, and Jenna wanted to meet, and it was just my birthday, and it's going to be Jenna's birthday. So it'll be a birthday celebration. And so Jenna's getting there a day earlier, and she'll be with her friend, and then I'll get there the next morning. And I told her, when you get the buffet, you get an extra, just kind of go back for a second portion and get me my bacon and eggs and my meat and, and some veggies, get me my breakfast, because I'll be in at 9. So by the time I get off the plane and by the time I go get the taxi to the hotel, it'll be that. And that's one thing I got to remember. So on my old phone, I had the hotel written down in a picture. Now I got to take the picture of that. Fortunately, I got my plane ticket here. And one thing I was saying is they don't tell you. I've got to contact American Airlines, even though I bought this from Cheapo Air, to get my boarding pass and to sign in for the flight. Or I can do it at the airport. But if I want to get the boarding pass like the day earlier, you used to go on Cheapo Air and do it. Now you got to go on American Airlines, which they don't tell you, and then find your flight and check in. And that was not good. Now I did reserve for, I think, $15 or $30. If there's a cancellation at all, they'll get me the next flight out for no charge. So I'm like, okay. So it's worth that. So we will see, but I'm going to Philly, and then I'll stop in Philly for 4 or 5 hours, and then from Philly to Barcelona. So it's okay. I don't know what I'll do. I'll bring some football stuff or something. It's a Thursday. It won't be that crowded. I'll have to bring some food, in my pack, and I got to be careful not to fuck my foot up on the plane by having too much pop or some shit like that. So I have to be careful. So what else? So get out of the market, get out of the banks, get out of the money, get off the Titanic, get onto the gold boat. I mean, I don't know how much simpler to make it. I got to check out Barcelona. Well, I'll let you know. I mean, Portugal is okay. Barcelona is supposed to be real nice. Odessa is very nice in the Ukraine. You'd like it there, Bobby. The girls would speak English to you, and you could be dropping the hammer on all sorts of girls that are fucking beauties and Ukrainian girls. They're so hot. So you go there, you go to the beach, go to the Black Sea, and they have all those little mattresses on the beach with the umbrellas, and you just rent them, and you'd be dropping people's elbows right and left. That's the place for you, Bobby. You go to the Ukraine. Sean Penn's there. I remember when the war started, he flew out of there, and I go, that fucker took my idea, because that's where I was thinking of retiring, was like taking Jenna and going to Odessa and living nice. I mean, because the rent's probably like $100 a month for rent because of the exchange rate. And it's a poor country, so they can't afford it. So the market there is not charging $1,500 for rent when nobody can afford it. So they have to go down to the rent that the people who are poor can afford. And that's really what it is. So that's it. Then I hear there's protests in Israel and in France about this whole banking and Social Security and all this shit. They're trying to take the Social Security away or limit it. And all these protests, I know in France and then Israel, it's not pretty. And this is the point of the central bank digital currency. These are done by Congress and, the government, the guys who get elected. This is not popular. They won't suspend, even though Social Security is broke and they should have gotten rid of it 20 years ago. It's too political of a thing that they won't get rid of it. So what the fuck are they going to do with central bank digital currency or Social Security and central bank? What are they going to do? Nobody wants it. That's why it'll never go, because they'll never get reelected. Who's going to vote for these idiots? So that's why I say, so look at the problems in France and Israel with these protests. The government, his only thing is to get reelected, and he runs on power. He wants power, so he wants to control you. Isn't government like what it should be versus what it is? So stupid. It's supposed to be you are represented to lead the people, right? So it's like the captain of the baseball team, right, Bobby? So Bobby Bo's the captain of the Mets. It's for the best interest of the team. But Bobby goes and gets corrupted and says, hey, well, we'll give you a lobbyist comes and how about if you change jerseys and call yourself the Pirates? And Bobby's like, well, for $1 million, we can be the Pirates. What do I care? And sells out his team. And that's really what the government's doing. They're selling out everybody for the money, and they don't know is the money's corrupt. So unless they move the money into gold, they're doing it for nothing. So we will see. But Europe I like, but I don't know where I'm going. I gotta be comfortable with it. It's got to be somewhat free. Spain, I don't know. Portugal is supposed to be a very good place for Americans. However, nobody talked American there. They all talk Portuguese. So I remember I was buying Jenna perfume in the mall across the street, and nobody could speak English. Then we went and bought it, and they gave us the wrong perfume. So we're packing up to go, and Jenna's like, we're leaving the next day, and Jenna's like, this isn't the right perfume. She said they're supposed to give me, whatever, yellow one, and this is a red one. So we go back to the store, and they go, oh, no refunds. And we go, well, it's not they didn't give us the right one. So fortunately, we found our salesman. She was still there. She spoke some English, and then she realized that she had given us the wrong one. It's not like we were trying to return it or stuff like that. So we were able to get it. And again, that's me being, just like I'm being logical. Like, look, we're not returning it. If you gave us the right one, we wouldn't be here. Then when they did give us the right one, I said, let's check and make sure this is the right one. So we opened it up, and Jenna looks at it, yes. And then we just exchanged it. But even then, it's like, did we get the right one? Let's make sure, because once she goes back to the Ukraine, she's fucked. So I think she still has the perfume. She wants me to take my polo. I have the blue polo one aftershave. Well, I guess I don't know if it's perfume, whatever guys call it. And so I'm thinking of putting it into a plastic bottle, because I don't know. It's a glass thing, but it's big. I don't know if I can get it on the airplane or they'll take it off. I don't want to lose it all. So I think I'll pour some of it into an old plastic bottle of the mouthwash, right? You use it up, rinse it out, put some cologne in there, and then just take a dab. And that way I can bring it. And same thing with my hair color. It's 4 ounces. So I don't know the limit there on the airplane, but I'm just going to shove that in. It's not bottled, but it is sort of liquid. But I think you can take shampoo on the airplane and conditioner. So I'll just take the color. Because she didn't like, she said, "Where's your color? Where's your perfume?" She's all mad in Portugal. I'm like, well, I was afraid to take it because they wouldn't allow it on the planes. Who knows what it's a liquid, But I think they're getting more lax, and they'll, it's not a big deal, I think. Anyway, so I got to pack, but next week I'll do my laundry. Otherwise, I got to keep setting my phone up, so I need to put PayPal on for Daria. I need to put Ria on for Jenna. I need to put Wells Fargo on to pay my credit card. Well, you're welcome. So here's me speaking Russian, Bobby. She says, "Thank you." And then I say, "Pajalster," which means you're welcome. So I got the one word Russian. So enough that she's like, "Oh, good. He knows some Russian." Like she's saying, "I don't know English." I'm saying, "It's okay. We'll be fine." You got the translator because she types to me in WhatsApp. It's all in English, so she's very clear there. So from that standpoint, I'm not, if we have to just type, but to go eat and everything else we want to do, it'll be pretty obvious. And I think we'll both have no problem figuring it out. But that's another vacation. Who knows when that'll be? This fucking war ever ends. God, thank God I got Jenna. I'd really be going out of my mind if I had Daria and I couldn't meet her, right? So at least with Jenna, I can go every few months and meet her. And it's good. She needs to get out of there. But I wish she'd come here, but she won't. She could do the class. I'd have her teach the class, Bobby. It'd be like the women's WWF champion, right? Charlotte Flair. She could be Charlotte Flair. She could get everybody in a figure 4 and go woo. So what else? Just buy as much gold and silver as you can now. You can see it going up. Let's check it now. So let's check our gold. Alex, COMEX is 2038. So silver's approximately 25 and gold's 2022. Dead even 2022. So on COMEX, you won't get the breakout that we're expecting on physical. So keep in mind the derivative gold versus the real gold, and we're waiting for the real gold. But even the derivative gold, so you're saying, well, why don't they make it go to zero or keep it? They can't even keep it low. There's way too many people buying it, and a lot of the people who are shorting it are probably get the fuck out of there because they know they're going to lose their ass. So so you probably have less people shorting it and more people just buying it. So the supply is almost gone, but just be careful. You've got to brace yourself. When silver hits $1,000 and you could have bought it at 25, you're going to have a problem with yourself there. You're going to go, fuck, I could have bought more. It's the typical football when I give you a lock and you bet 500 on it and the game wins by 30 and you go, fuck, I could have bet 2,000 on it. It happens. Normally I get that feeling before the game and I make more bets. So when I feel the game and let's say I bet 1,000 on the game, and then I start getting like this game's going to win. I go back and bet, and if I'm at Caesars, I'll go back and bet another 500 or 600. By the way, are they imploding Caesars? I saw a wrecking ball. I don't know if it was real or not, but what the fuck? How do you do that to Caesars? It's the one place that's been there. I was there in 1968. I was 9 years old and I went with the family on a trip. We went from Detroit to San Francisco and we drove the whole way. So anyway, we stayed at Caesars. I love Caesars. I like what they did to it. See, here's Russian translation. She says, write how you send. And what she means is when you send it, not how you send it. Anyway, helping her with her dental. One of my good buddies called me saying he's concerned about getting fired. Absolutely. From his job because he spoke up to his manager about getting overlooked several times for promotion after they let him on and made excuses, but now gave new employee the same promotion. That's why I hate corporate world a lot of times, but I told him to buy medals and he would just, tell him to go fuck him. See, the problem is the economy is so bad. I would tell him to just get his resume out and start looking. AKA, that's what the professor does. Even when I'm working at a job, the only job that I sat there and loved was Mercedes. And I worked there 4 years and I never looked for another job. And what happened? As soon as I got to Alabama, I hated it. I was looking for a new job. And when I got the new job here, I was, after about 2 or 3 months, I started in April. I'd say by July, I was looking for a new job. I look at myself as a commodity, as a business. I'm the professor. I'm a business. I sell my brain. And if I don't like where I'm at or I'm smarter than the manager, usually what happens to me is I'm smarter than the manager and it turns me off. And I'm like, fuck, this guy just wants to use me. I don't want to be used. And then I look. But when I got to Mercedes, I had a good manager. She was German. She was very smart. We worked well together. She understood me. And so then it was like, okay, I'm going to stay here. But otherwise, half these places, you're like, fuck that. I don't want anything to do with it. I just wanted to share with professors. I know you've had your run-in with the corporate. I use the corporate basically. I use them for a paycheck to buy gold. Everything has been to buy the gold and silver, at least the last couple of years. That's it. I use them for that, although I do a good job. If they treat me well, I do it. When they treat me like Toyota, where the Japanese thought World War II was still going on and I was an American and they wanted to put me in the concentration camp and I told them to fuck off. I was walking. Now, Bobby, how would you handle this? I was walking. They had a fire drill or something, and it was cold out because I was there in November, so it was like December. And I'm walking, and I put my hands in my pockets, And one of these motherfucker Japanese guys takes his hand and puts his hand on my arm and pulls my hand out of my pocket. I nearly turned around and choked him. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, oh, there's a problem that my hand's in my pockets because it's cold out? What the fuck? That now you're controlling me. And I immediately turned off. Doesn't, hey, I'm not going to take that shit. Yeah, he says coming and they don't have the cap for it, but he just found yesterday that the new guy got the spot. So I'm going to blame him if they've lied to him. As soon as they lie to him once, you're gone. You go find another job. I don't know what he does. I don't know how difficult it is for him to find another job. But I would basically, you tell him that the professor would have had his resume out on the first lie. I would do as little as possible. I don't care if I get fired because I'm going to get a severance and I'll get unemployment, and it buys me time to get it. Now, the problem is we are way in a recession. We're not waiting for one. It's been here for a year now, and that's why I can't find a job, because nobody wants to hire. I've had numerous phone calls, but I can't. I get submitted and they're not hiring, and I understand that. Or they're trying to lower the pay because, as I said, you can't pass it on to the customer, so they can't do that. So if I'm in his shoes, he needs to get his resume out. He needs to understand his salary, what the market is. He needs to understand the market. And I would not work for that. I would just show up and get on the internet and go watch old Bobby Bo, Barry Bonds games. I mean, I would not be producing. They're lying. They're probably like communists, where their buddy who voted for Biden is getting got the job or something. Yeah, but how can he get fired and still collect? Oh, I did. Will have to not be his fault, correct? Yeah. Well, where he's working, if it's an at-will state, it's not a big deal. I think he can definitely get a severance, right? Sure, but not. Yeah. Okay. So let's look at the job here in Michigan. It wasn't working out. They lied to me. I was supposed to get an office, a staff. They were going to change computer systems. They never did. So he comes and he says, we're going to have to terminate you, but you can get unemployment, and they got a severance. Because I didn't, he says, you didn't do anything wrong. And I laid into him like, what the fuck are you doing? This is the first time you're going to talk to me about this? That's it. I'm gone. Because why? You can't even give me a reason. So I was pretty, I said, you're by March, you're done. Your company will be gone because they won't, you won't be able to get money. And the economy's collapsing. And I was pretty fucking accurate, wasn't I? So no, it was termination without cause. So if it's an at-will state, you can get terminated as long as you didn't steal or do anything wrong. You can get unemployment now. And the severance is if they let you go. So he can't quit and get the severance, but I didn't quit either. But, I didn't work as hard. I kind of kept busy, and it was like, but, who gives a fuck? And that's what I did. And they gave me, now I was a controller, so they gave me a 4-week severance. So I got 2 extra paychecks, which was fine. And then I'm just taking unemployment now, actually. I didn't take it at first. And then I thought I had enough money, but then with the girls and the credit cards, it ends up where I need a little bit more. And then I ended up asking for Social Security. Now, Social Security, I can waive if I were to get a nice job now. If I got a job tomorrow making $100,000, I would then call up Social Security and say, put it on hold. I'm making money. I don't need it. But if I'm not working, then I need it. And that's when I'm going to get next. So I'll get that Monday. So I told Daria she needs money. I said, just you're gonna have to wait till Monday. She doesn't know that I'm traveling, so I got to be careful with my money. I'll get the Social Security money in, and that'll help for the trip. And I'll probably put an extra grand in the account anyway. But I'm really confused. They're going to take debit cards, if they're going to take cash, credit. What the fuck in Spain? They might not even take U.S. dollars. So that's why I'm bringing I'll give Jenna some gold, and then I'll give her the rest when I leave. If I'm okay, I'm fine. I can get the fuck out of here. Here's the rest of your gold. So I'll probably bring 2 quarter ounces. I'll give her 1 quarter in the silver, and then if I need the other quarter, I'll have that for the trip. But I'll also have my credit cards that I paid for the hotel with, so that's why we'll have breakfast at the hotel. I just charge it to the room, and so I'm fine with that. So that's an easy way. Well, it's up to the company if they give severance. Well, it's not his fault. I mean, he can't go rob or do anything, harassment or anything like that. He's just I would just sit there and go walk around and talk to people and not do my job and let them fire him for no cause. He didn't do anything wrong, but you know what? I'm kind of bored. So they want him to quit is what they're doing, right? They're lying to him and they're giving him reason to quit, but he can't quit. He'll never get a severance if he quits. They have to let him go for that. So he just needs to just show up and do nothing. And then they'll give him a severance and then he can get his unemployment. But if he quits, there's no severance, only if they let you go. And I almost quit Toyota because I was up for a job in New York where it would have been a remote job, and it paid like 120, and I was excited, but I didn't get it. So if I would have got it, I would have taken it and left. But then I would have had to pay back the relocation money. This way I don't have to pay it back. So it was the best of both worlds. I got $9,000 in severance, and I didn't have to pay back the $10,000 of relocation. So it was it's a nice chunk of change by not leaving, by letting them fire me. And it was fine. I didn't care. See, you got to not care because you got to be strong enough to know I'm fine. I don't need you. I'll find another company. The same thing with women. You got to get to the point when you ask them out, they say no, you go, oh, okay. And that's another reason you date 3 or 4 at the same time. Then you see another one and you ask her out, and well, I got Jenna and Daria. So if you say no, I got Jenna and Daria. However, sometimes you don't want another one because you're like, okay, I'm pretty comfortable with Jenna and Daria. I don't need another one. So severance is if they fire him. The unemployment is as long as, even if they do fire him, if there's no cause. So if you didn't do anything wrong, they just a redundancy, or they gave the promotion to the other guy, that's it. He gets good evaluations and all, but basically given every excuse not to promote the guy, but claim they don't favoritize. Favoritize? Bobby. He's even considering filing a complaint to him on them. That's the only reason I work now, is to buy gold. But I understand it's cheap. One of the things, and you know this, the INFJ, we're very good at reading people and things. KGB puts the Oreo cookie in his mouth. He's got a good hand. We can read. The action creates the reaction. He's got a full house. Okay, so you know that. So I'm seeing gold now, and I know where gold's going. So it behooves me to put everything I can into gold and silver, and I'll get rewarded in a few months. When it goes through the roof, I'll get rewarded. And that's why I'm doing it. And at the worst case, as I say, it doesn't go up that high. I need an ounce. I need a couple $1,000s. I trade back in an ounce of gold. I was wrong here. Here's a couple grand, and I can live off of that. So it's there if you need it. It's a beautiful insurance. You get the money if you need it. So that's just the way it works. So it's fine. But as far as him, Yeah, I don't know if he's at an at-will state or not, but he can't get a severance unless they fire him. So I would just go in and look at box scores and NBA finals and the NFL draft, and I wouldn't do my job. Let me. Okay, you're going to let me go. Here's your severance, and then he go gets his unemployment because there's no cause to it, and that's it. In the meantime, I would tell him what I would tell him to do is look for a new job. I know there's the recession, and you might have to take a little bit less. But if he can get the new job, then what I would do is give like a 2-week severance, of which I wouldn't do nothing. I would just sit in my chair with my feet propped up going, I got 2 weeks to go. That's his severance, working the 2 weeks and even starting to work for the new company. Yeah, but how about if they say the cause was poor performance? Can they get him for that? Well, not really. I mean, they didn't say mine was perfect. They just said you did. What they'll say is termination without cause. So they can't really, if it's documented he's doing good, you got to be clever at it. Do some work, look busy, but just don't do much. Really, he's in a situation that, how long has he been there? A couple years? And what he needs to do is just get his resume out and find a new job. So I don't know. He should have had his resume out on the first lie. So as soon as you're lied to, it's just like a relationship. If your girlfriend, if this Puerto Rican or Cuban girl lies to you, what are you going to hang around with her? I was watching 2020, so he's been there 3 years. Okay. So I would tell him to get his resume out and go on Indeed, or I don't know what kind of position. I go on Indeed for finance in LinkedIn and just apply, and then off he goes. I don't know what he makes. If he makes 50, he makes 55. If he makes 70, he makes 75. They will never check what you really made. They're just trying to get a ballpark and see what the job pays. So whatever he makes, tell him to add $5,000. If he gets the job, then he gives his 2 weeks. That's his severance. He just kicks his feet up and says, okay, pretends to be busy. If somebody walks by, it looks like he's busy and he's doing NBA scoreboard or something. I mean, what are you doing? They're lying to you. And the problem is you can't really call them for harassment or slander or any of that shit. You just leave. It's not working out. Off you go. If you're breaking up with a girlfriend or like a divorce, it just isn't working out, and you move on. That's all you can do. If you either want to be with them or you don't, and that's women. That's everything. So either I want to be with Jenna or I don't, or I want to be with Daria or I don't. If I don't want to be with them, I'm not like Carmen. I didn't want to be with her anymore because all she wanted was money. So I'm not with her. But what did I do? I got Daria and Jenna. Tough break, Carmen. Yeah, you're pretty, Carmen, but all you care about is money. I'm not looking for that. I'm not impressed with your pretty, or that's what I'm looking for. And then I showed her a picture of Irina, who's a lot prettier than Carmen. And Carmen's a model. Irina just puts her to shame. And she says, you'll be alone. I go, no, I got Irina. What are you talking about? So she knows I know Irina, so she can't really say she can't use that line. You're going to be alone without me. And I'm like, I got Irina. I'm fine. And I don't tell her about Jenna and Daria, and I don't tell them about each other. But Jenna knows about Irina. I says, my friend told me about Lisbon. She says, who's your friend? I said, she's in Romania. She says, you can go visit her. I love you. You can go visit. I was shocked. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I know what I got with Jenna is a really good thing. But we'll see. I mean, I just try to enjoy life right now and take care of them. So what he needs to do is get a new job, and he needs to just add a couple grand. That'll be his severance. That'll be his raise. And Oh, I was watching this thing on Samson and Delilah from, it was that Canadian guy telling the story. And what he said was Delilah kept lying to Samson. No, Samson kept lying to Delilah. They all knew Samson was strong and a demigod and all that shit, right? Zeus's kid or whatever. And so what ended up happening was he was, she said, how do you have your power? And he would say, oh, well, if you get wet ropes, that'll hold me. And so she ties him up in wet ropes, and of course he breaks it. And she says, come on, you're making me look like a fool. What can zap your strength? He says, ropes. If you tie me up in ropes, that'll stop me. And of course that didn't. But Samson's not thinking, and that was the whole point of the story, was he's not like, wait a minute, she's just tried to screw me twice. She's lying to me. She doesn't care about me. What the fuck? And then he tells her about the hair. Like, what are you doing? Like, at what point did the other two where she tried to get you, are you allowing? And then she cut his hair, and that was the end of him. And the moral of the story was be careful about lust and women and people that lie. And the story was, well, Delilah only wanted the money. She didn't care about Samson. She was very beautiful, apparently. And so he ends up with his eyes poked out and tied up and his hair cut off because he trusted her, even though she already asked him twice and she did what he told him. And he still told her the truth. And it's like, that's why, like I say about these scam girls, they'll offer you sex, and that's the carrot. Oh, I'll come and we'll have sex. And you go, oh, okay, here's $500. And then they don't show up because the carrot is the sex. And, that's what it is. It's bullshit. And that's why you don't send money to girls you've never met or haven't seen. This one girl, she won't send a picture. So she wants money. I said, fuck you. I'm not giving you money. You're out of your mind. Sorry. You want to meet me? Come meet me like everybody else. I said, you'll be the fortunate one. I'm an INFJ and I'm a professor. So if you're getting the better end of this stick than I am. Right? I don't know who you are, but you can have this incredible catch, but you're too stupid to understand that. Jenna, I think, gets it, and Daria must get it. So they both must get it. Must be a Russian thing. But Jenna knows how lucky she is, and so does Daria. I mean, I'm helping her with rent and food, and she's like, she gets it, right? But these other girls, like the American ones, that's why I like the European ones. American ones are so stupid. They don't have a clue. Oh, send money. Yeah. Oh, sure I will. And you're real. In what world are you real in? So you got to be careful with that. But that is where I am at. What else can we talk about? So yeah, it's all KGB, the Oreo cookie. You find the tell in anybody, and then you see what they want. And then if it's not working out, you leave. You're at a job you don't like. Maybe you don't get along with the manager. I hated my manager at Toyota. She finally tells me, "Oh, well, we're going with mine because I learned it at Mazda." And I'm like, because it was Mazda Toyota manufacturing, and it was a joint venture, and I just laughed. Oh, so you think Mazda's better than Mercedes? Oh, okay, good for you. And she was a terrible manager, and treated me like really stupid. Like she would have other people tell me what to do. Why isn't she telling me what to do? I mean, it was just hysterical. I'm like, what a fucking loser. So anyway, if you don't like your manager, you don't stay in a poison situation and then bitch about it and then say, well, they're not giving me a raise. They're lying to me. No. They got one chance. They start lying to you. You get the fuck out. This is not prison. You're at a job. They're paying you for your skill set. This is Austrian economics right there. You come in with this job and they pay you what the job is. This is pure economics, pure free market. And if you don't like the job, you leave the job for another job. And maybe you got to figure out how to survive in the jobs because, like Bobby's saying, they are corporate and sucks and it's hard to fit personalities, especially now. Now you got the fucking liberals and the Keynesians. I can't even talk in a hot tub with the communist. I see him. I don't even want. This is at a hot tub. I mean, I'm free to come and go. I'm not getting paid, and yet that's how I see it. This guy's a fucking communist. I don't want anything to do with him. Anyway, that's really the point of it. So that's what you're looking out for. But that's how it is. It's the same thing with in a marriage or when you're dating. You're like, well, I'm getting sex, but I don't like the girl, and you stay with the girl because you're getting the sex, but you don't like it. It's like you're at a job and you're getting money, so you're getting paid to be at the job, so you stay even though you don't like it. So then you have to come to terms. Okay, I either get another job or I stay here because I'm getting the money. And how do I ignore it? Well, I'm very good at that. I'll do, whatever you want. I'm taking the money. I'm buying gold. This is a means to an end. The end's the gold. So I'm here for a paycheck to buy gold. I don't give a fuck about you guys. I don't give a fuck how stupid my boss is. I just ignore it all. But I'm at a different level, as Bobby is too, that we know we're at different levels. We can just tell them to go fuck off. But if you don't like it, you leave. And same thing with the girl. If you don't like it, the sex is nice. So maybe just have sex and leave and then look for a girlfriend. That's why I say you got to have multiple girlfriends. You might have a girlfriend just for dinner. And then you might have a girlfriend like Irina. She's married. She's going to have the kid. She's not a girlfriend like Jenna and Daria is. She's more of a soulmate, I'm her guardian angel type of relationship. So it's a totally, I don't know how many girls are texting you. I'm trying to have my baby. I'm in the hospital. I'm in the delivery room. I don't know how many girls are telling you that you're not like your girlfriend. And so I'm so with that. Irina even told me if you have to be with the girl, because she kind of feels bad a little bit. She says, well, if you have to be with the girl and not contact me, I'll understand. I said, well, the fuck would I do that? No, they're going to have to understand that you're my soulmate and I'm going to talk to you every day. If they can't handle it, that's their problem, not mine. And, but it was sweet of her saying that. And I said, fuck, why would I, that's not the problem. I want her, but I can't. She's married, so she's my soulmate. So I just leave it alone. And then I got, Jenna and Daria on the other side here. And, I like them both very much. So they're just, it's a little different, but that's really what you're looking for. So yes, they think we believes in Santa Claus or something. Who are they? The company? Well, that's the thing. You're not prisoners at a company. You work for Microsoft. You're not a prisoner. What I told this guy at Walmart yesterday, he's helping me with the phone, and they were giving him. He was spending time with me, and they didn't like it. They want this policy at Walmart. We're not going to help our guests. We bought the phone. He's on it. He can read it and everything else. So one lady told me that, and I told her to go fuck off. And then I said, "Where's the kid?" And the kid came over. The kid's name was like I'm the one or something like that. It was funny. So at the end, he helps me with the phone, and then I leave. And I said to him, "You don't need this job. Why don't you just go start a business? How to do the phone, right? How to set it up, because that's really what you're good at." And I don't know how to set up the phone. I don't want to be bothered with setting up the phone. I think that's why my feet were hurting last night. It was so stressful between damaging the phone, going to get my teeth cleaned, then trying to fix my phone, then buying a new phone. It was such stress that I think that's what hurt my feet. And today it's much better because I'm not stressed. I have the phone. I know I can talk to the girls. And then it's just a matter of figuring out what I need to add on here. But most of it I got on my laptop. But there is stuff on the, like I added my bank app to it and things like that. I got to add my Wells Fargo to it. But otherwise, that's pretty much okay. So I actually write my email. I write my Netflix, here's my password, and Chase, here's my password. It's funny, but I have to do that because there's so many different ones. And then you have a password and then you switch it. And now you're fucked. You go in a month later, you don't know what your password is. So anyway. But that's what you're doing. So if you don't like something, you certainly you don't. We're not, in China and Russia, they're pretty much yes. Like Daria works at a store. I don't know if she can quit and work at another store. I don't know how free she is. I kind of have a feeling that the government gets her the job. What about credit card, Bobby? The password? Yeah. But so that's what you do is you basically if you don't like it, you can either use them or just leave. The problem with jobs, it's easier with girls. Girls, you can leave and find another one pretty quickly or, whatever. But the jobs, the problem is it's hard to leave the job. I just got new Citi credit card and found out that I can transfer my Chase credit card balance over. Well, there you go, Bobby. Yeah, there's going to be a lot more of those because the interest rates are going up. Well, that's the whole point of it. And so what I would do if I were you, I would divide what you owe by how many months. So let's say it's 20 grand, 20 months. Then I would pay $1,000 a month to the credit card. And at the end of the 20 months, you would have paid the 20 grand. And then, so I pay a grand, I pay a grand, I pay a grand. Then you're paying them off at the end. I'm going to have a problem with my Wells Fargo. I think it comes due in May. I'll have to then, I still have a balance, which is going to go to 20%. So I'm going to have to transfer that money out, or I'll probably do it with the Chase. I have Chase. I'll probably transfer that out. I think Fifth Third has these 0%. I'm sure it'll boom by then anyway. I can pay it cash now, but I think it's good to use my cash for investments. Yeah, exactly. I bought some silver online with it. Well, that's been my whole point. I'd rather buy the gold and silver now than have the money. I don't need 100 grand in the bank and it's going to go to zero. See, we've caught the movie, right? The 100 grand in the bank's going to zero. But if I move 100 grand into gold, it's going to 200 or 500 or whatever. Let's just say it goes to 200. So instead of having zero, I got 200. And the odds on gold going to zero are zero. There's no way gold's going from 100 grand to zero like in those movies. But the odds on the 100 grand going to zero in the bank are probably like 50%. So we've eaten the Oreo. We've seen what the Oreo is. And that's why you have no risk in precious metals. That's why I say all you're doing is switching. You're not spending a nickel. You're just taking 1,000 and buying $1,000 worth of silver. You haven't spent a penny. Only you've been wise because your $1,000 in silver is going to go up in value. Your $1,000 in fiat bullshit is never going up. It's only going down. And it's going down with the inflation and all the BRICS countries and the gold and our inflation here and the bank failures. How is the money going to go up in value? Amy's throughout next year, amps throughout next year. I also looking for some good real estate, which I will need for potential down payments as well. I would stop fucking around with that, Bobby, and just buy gold. What are you going to do with the real estate? You're a farmer all of a sudden? You're going to what? You're going to have pigs so you can eat your pigs' ears and cows and chickens? What is the point of it? Do you know what to do with it? How are you going to develop it to make money with it? Versus sitting on your ass buying, 50 ounces of gold, going, I'm going to make all this money and I don't have to do a damn. All I had to do is buy the gold. And now I can just sit and do not, basically do nothing. Why buy the real estate? I don't understand that. And the farm idea is not bad, actually. Why not? Why? Because you want the chicken and the eggs and you want to milk cows? I mean, are you capable of being a farmer? Do you want to be a farmer? I don't. I would have no desire to be a farmer. So therefore, I would never buy the farm. To me, if I buy anything, I'll buy a driving range or a golf course or something like that. But I'm not going to buy farmland. I only want the real estate near the beach for short-term rentals. Oh, so you actually want to buy like an apartment or a condo or a house to rent out. Okay. Do you have customers? What's the market? Talk to me about the market. At what price are you going to rent it? What's the market price? Is it $1,000? Is it $2,000? What's the market? And where's the demand? Are you trying to sell Tesla, sell electric cars? There's no demand. So you got to answer these questions for me. What is the market? What is this? And what are they paying? And then what can you buy it for? And then can you make money at what the market? So you're trying to sell the ribs for $25. Can you buy them for $25? You need to answer that question. Then I'll allow you to buy real estate. But I haven't found anything at a good enough deal, and my money is tied up, but I am just looking around. Yeah, well, untie your money, buy gold, and stop fucking around with renting it out. What happens if they damage your thing? Now you got to go pay somebody to fix it, and the taxes will probably go up, and the interest rates are going to go up. Why? Who wants the headache? I don't know. Or are you going to put up pictures of yourself on the walls? Bobby Bowe, New York Mets. Here's my baseball card. Maybe a little of that, but I don't get that. When people want to rent their house out, just buy fucking gold and be done with it. I don't get the I want to buy real estate over gold. I don't get that argument, because at the end of the day, you got to take care of the real estate. If nobody moves in, you still owe taxes, you still owe utilities. You got to keep the electricity on and the heat on and the lights on and mow the lawn and all this shit, especially near the beach. So if you can make a lot of money, is it more than you can make in gold and silver? You want to hear something funny? I always want to hear something funny, Bobby. Go ahead. You can tell me you're in it with The Rock, and then maybe I'd say okay. Or if Stone Cold's come in and he's an investor, then that's a different story. Or Brady, or all your famous guys you hang out with. My buddy just texted me saying that he got an email from his colleagues talking about nominating his boss for employee positions of the month. What's he going to say? He's either got to kiss ass. He should say, oh, yeah, I think that's a great idea. This is office politics at its finest. If he says no, well, this is his way out. He'll say no, and then they'll tell the boss Charlie said no, and then he's then the boss will be looking to get rid of him, and then he wins. What is there no other departments he can go to in this company and work for another boss? Poor guy is stressed, but he's like a brother to me, so I try not to laugh. Well, we're not laughing at him. We want to help him, but he's kind of put himself in it, and he needs to stop being stressed. It's not healthy, but he needs to do that. He will be the only member of the 12-person team that will refuse. Well, there you go. He's on his way to the severance pay. Well, that's where it becomes, do you want to have that fight? Do you want to do that or just say, fuck it, fine, just count me in, who gives a fuck, and vote for the boss? I mean, that's kind of what I would just go along, and what the fuck are you going to do? I don't think that's the battle he wants to have, right? Just, you're nominating for the boss for boss of the year or something, or manager of the year, Cy Young, whatever it's for. So you really don't want to go there, and I understand that, but that's kind of what he needs to do. Is I don't know that you pick your battle there. Just fucking fine. Yes, let's nominate him and put my name in the hat as I said yes. And I don't think he wants to. I think he can find a better way to humiliate the boss than this, because he'll get in trouble that it's not worth it. And it sounds like they want him to quit anyway, so it's tough. No, that's cool, Professor. You're right. He would laugh too. It's just awkward and kind of funny how they just throwing him on the spot. Exactly, political bullshit, just like that place in Bama you told me about. Yeah, it's Toyota. Well, that's my point. They want him to leave, all right? Because if he quits, there's no severance and everything. Mine was a relocation, so if I quit, I would have had to pay $10,000 in relocation, and I wouldn't have got a severance, which was $9,000. So it was a huge thing for me to stay it out and just, okay, everybody go fuck yourselves. I started walking around telling people to buy gold and silver, and they just didn't get it. There's a few people that got me, and then most of them were just so like, oh, we must do what the Japanese say. And I was like, there's no fucking way I'm doing what the Japanese say. That ain't happening. And then my boss and the coworkers were just a bunch of fucking morons, and I was not going to insult my intelligence by kissing their ass or doing anything that I didn't agree to. I did do my job. I did do my budgets and all that shit, but that was it. It was like, fuck this. There was a budget question that came up that I talked to the manager about, and then so I was all set, and the treasurer comes up and, did you ask him? And I say, yeah. And he starts yelling at me. Dude, you want to tell me to do something, tell me to do it. You don't yell. I said, you're out of line. And that's what I did, Bobby. I just told him he was out of line. I wasn't going to take shit from a Japanese guy who I was 20 times smarter than. That's my problem. See, with my INFG and my economics, I'm smarter than most people in most companies because I understand the top level of the market and they don't. Like the one kid, I said, you better get out of your 401k. You better get out of the stocks. Just put it in cash now. Let everything drop, and then you can go back in. Or you just sell it and get into gold and silver, which is the other thing I told everybody. You better buy your gold and silver. And he's saying, oh, Howard, you're older. It'll go down. It'll come back up. Oh, really? So you know why it went down and came back up, and that's what's going to happen this time? And how long are you going to have to wait before it comes back up? 20 years, 30 years? But you know what's going to happen because I'm older than you, so I don't know. I'm trying to help you, buddy. So go fuck yourself. Yeah, I mean, but that's the difference is I'm not going to take the shit. I'm not there for that shit. I'm not going to kiss ass, and I'm not going to kiss Japanese ass because they think World War II is still going on, and they want to blame us for Pearl Harbor. We nuked them. Well, you did Pearl Harbor, fellas, but you can't take it out on Americans in Alabama. Everybody hated it there. Everybody, but they screwed everybody with this reloc. You had to stay 2 years, and as soon as you got your 2 years, and everybody was leaving, I got lucky. I got the severance and the payout, and don't worry about the 10 grand. But I'll probably do my taxes next week. I think I'll get a little bit of a refund, and that'll help for the trip. Social Security next week, that'll help. And I put a couple grand back into the account anyway, so I should be fine. I don't know how much cash I need. Again, I can use my credit cards, and I'll dump probably another grand into the bank for the debit cards just to have. Because dinners I can pay for with the credit card. I don't care. Anyway, so that's what's happening. So once gold goes up, looking for an island to live on. That's what screws with my bank. And I go, shit, I need to pay the credit cards, and I need the taxes, and I need this and that. And you get a little worried, and then you realize, well, wait a minute, I got all this money in gold that as soon as gold starts, gets another zero, and it's 20 grand instead of 2 grand, and the gold hits another 2 zeros and goes to 1,000, then I can relax a lot more. And I know I've got it, so it's just a matter of relaxing and letting it go. Anyway, 3:30, 3 hours. That's good. Anything else, Bobby Bo? So basketball, who the fuck cared? Connecticut wins. I could have cared less. What is this? What is your feeling on baseball? Everybody, not just Bobby, but the whole crowd. All I hear on the radio is how they're quickening up the game. Oh, you can go to the game in 2 hours. And this time clock and the pitch clock, and the batter has a time clock. And if it goes to extra innings, the guy starts at second base without getting a hit. What the fuck are they doing? First of all, if it's good, you're not looking at the time, right? I'm not looking, it's a 2-hour game if it's a good game. If it's Verlander against Scherzer, and I know they're on the same team, I just want it to be, I don't care if it goes 3 hours. That's fucking awesome. That's what I want to see. But because so many of the players suck, all the pitchers suck, but a few, I think the time thing is irrelevant. I think I don't watch it because the guys suck more so than it takes too long to play a game, and let's have a pitch count. And you can only go out to see the pitcher twice a game or whatever the bullshit is. I think that's stupid. That's like trying to make The Godfather. You got to do it in an hour. Well, it's a 3-hour movie. Well, yeah, but if it's a good movie, you don't care. Lord of the Rings, they could have made them 5 hours long. It was fine. It was a good movie. Yeah, that time clock is garbage. Yeah, exactly. It's true, Professor. Going to be great when medals fly. Do I have to stress like my buddy and these people in corporate dealing with garbage? Well, that's the point. That's why I try to talk you out of the whole real estate stuff. What do you need to dick around with it for? Baseball is as bad as modern day wrestling. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Well, football, it's getting hurt with the instant replay and all these long commercials. And it's really hard to watch the game, but we can still bet on it. So football has the betting aspect that baseball will never have. Like they're trying to do these propositions. How many hits does Joe Blow have, and how many, home runs, and how many wins they're going to have, and the Tigers are going to be the worst team in the league. Let's go over or under 60 wins and shit like that. And you're like, okay, who bets that shit? You don't have a clue to win it. You don't even know what's going on. Anyway, so that's what I think this time clock in baseball, I think, is just asinine. I think it's just really stupid. There's no reason for it. I'm not going to watch the game because they have it, and I really don't care. I almost don't want it to be a one-inning game. When I go watch the girls play softball when I was their manager, this was fast pitch, Bobby, and some slow. I didn't like that it was over in an hour. It was a very interesting game. The girls are very passionate and emotional. I thought it sucked that it was like 6 innings. Like, what are you doing? Or sometimes they'd go 5. You're like, let's go 7 innings. Let's keep playing. It's fun. See, if it's fun, you'll watch it. If it's just horse shit, you won't. College football is the most entertaining. That's because the cheerleaders, the bands, and everything. College football currently holds the championship belt for entertainment value aspect. For sports, I agree with you. I think that's the thing, and that's what the Tigers need is a marching band and cheerleaders and things like that. But the team's so bad, they don't even know how to draft players. The position players all suck. They all hit under 200. How the fuck do you keep a guy on your team that can't hit 200? The pitching's terrible. And then they have, 20 guys in the bullpen. So the roster is basically 25 pitchers and 2 fielders. It's just really bad right now. It's very hard to watch and enjoy. And they're canning in too many commercials. So now I start thinking commercials with gold and the economy, and I'm going, these people are advertising like there isn't a problem with the economy. Oh, go buy Coke or go buy this sweatshirt or come get Little Caesars or McDonald's, and you're thinking to yourself, they're spending a lot of money on advertising that's going to be gone. Like I don't really get all the advertising money, but that's what they do. So regardless of that, I think I'm going to eat 3 hours. I am getting tired. I need gas today, and I need a bathing suit. So I think I go to a Dick's Sporting Goods or Dunham's or something like that to get it. I don't know, Target. Do I want to buy a bathing? Sometimes I buy bathing suits from Target, but I'd rather buy it, but I don't even know where the malls are anymore to buy it from. So we will see. And that's about it. So I can maybe go to the Sporting Goods to check it out. Otherwise, I think that's it, my friends. I remember my 6-inning Little League games in the Bronx. Those were the days. You're welcome, Bobby. Yeah, I played Little League. I had a pitch count on me. I played all over. I was really coordinated, really athletic, and an all-star type of player. I could really hit the hell out of the ball. And I was pitching, and it was like, you could only pitch 30 pitches. I pitched 30 pitches. I'm like, well, why am I leaving? This is ridiculous. I can pitch another 30. Like, what the fuck? Who invented the pitch count, and what do they think? Like, it doesn't do anything. I know when my arm's sore, then I'll stop. Until then, I can go another 60 pitches. What the fuck are you pulling me for? So I hated the pitch count, and that was in I think I was probably 11 years old, 12 years old. So I was Little League. I eventually went on to Pony and Cole and Babe Ruth, and that was it. But I could hit. I could hit pretty good. I could field pretty good. I didn't make too many errors. I was a good player, but never got the opportunity. Anyway, have a good day. Thank you very much. Enjoy. Get your gold and silver now, unless you want to really freak out and it hits 1,000 an ounce and you're going to say, fuck, I should have bought my silver now. As much as you can buy, and then get contempt with that says, okay, I think I have enough. Like I'm at that stage. Well, if I get 20 more ounces, fine. If I don't get it, fine. I'm not going to bitch because I wasn't even trying to get any. I was just buying gold. Then I realized how cheap silver was and the exposure it was going to jump. And I've been buying 20 ounces here, there, and everywhere. And, I'm up over 500. So that's why I give Jenna like 10 and I'll give a little bit of gold for her. So at least she can, and then she'll be happy. Just before it was jewelry. Now it's give me my gold and silver. Okay. All right, everybody. Have a good day. Take care. Thank you.